recording starting. All right. So we find ourselves on a muddy trail, leaving in the middle of the night from the trees that you guys had called a shelter from the storm that had blown in from the Sea of Swords. You guys had kind of come to this grove of trees for protection. There were three other carts there when you guys arrived, and another one arrived after you guys. You guys all tried to kind of bed down for the night, but during one of the watches, Quixotic and Nicola noticed that there was the horses were getting a little bit spooked, and somebody came over and was attempting to kind of ask for assistance from one of the people in his cart. During this exchange of words, Quixotic noticed, or kind of got basically right as a group of people went to go attack the rest of the group sleeping in the cart, which set off a battle as you guys tried to save each other, as this group of people tried to make off with Tehran and Alice. They were unsuccessful in their attempts to take Tehran and Alice back to wherever they were trying to get to, but one of the cultists did escape through a teleportation type spell scroll that they had on them. You guys quickly packed up your stuff and set out in the rain with their two horses in tow, trying to make your way towards Port Last and leaving behind this gruesome scene from where you guys stayed that night. And so that's where I find you guys, is plodding along through the rain, in the mud, going north.
Keelan, before we get too far down the road and everyone gets back to sleep, I want to take a climbing, piton,
Okay.
and I want to put it through the wooden seat next to me for a handhold.
Okay. Make me a...
Athletics, probably.
Yeah, probably athletics. All right, let's go survival check.
All right.
Since you are trying, I'm assuming you're using this to try.
I have a hammer and a piton. I figure it's just like tink tink tink, you know.
Okay. Well, what's your intention for doing this for?
I intend to use it if something goes erratic in the cart, just to use it as a handle kind of. I just need it. It's a metal spike that you use for climbing. I just want to put it through the thing like a giant nail, so that it sticks up, and I can
survival
use it
or athletics, your choice.
I'll use athletics. It's
all right,
not
so we're
awful.
Okay.
Did it come through? Okay.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be difficult, I would imagine. It is a giant nail, and I do have a hammer.
What was that, Davos?
So I remember correctly, Alice, Tehran, myself, and Nicola are in the cart now.
Alice was riding on the horse. She said
I don't
she
remember.
did
That's
not.
why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I am riding on a horse.
I am driving the cart. Everyone, I thought most people were going to sleep because they were badly injured. And then Alice was riding on the horse.
I took the last watch. I did that with you.
No, it was Nicola and I were the ones that were awake when shit went
okay.
down.
I hadn't taken a watch yet then. I was going to take the last watch.
Had Tehran taken a watch last night?
Yeah,
he was first watch. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys fix the cart? or is it still in tatters?
Oh, it's still in tatters.
I thought
mending.
Kohi was doing mending on it
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
when we were packing up. So he was just fixing strips of.
Rips and tears and
Yeah.
Is it like a 1 foot by 1 foot square at a time or something like that, or one
One of
single rip?
them might be smaller than that.
I think it's at least that big.
no larger than 1 foot in any dimension.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he just
You could fix a 1 foot tear by
Every-
like a little by little.
yeah.
I think you
Every-
can take care of that while we ride. Or very,
Yeah. I mean, if you
fairly
were
quickly.
doing it, you could do it from the inside the cart. Honestly.
Yeah, they made very deliberate cuts. They didn't slash at it like a fucking bird trying to rip open a bag.
Was it damaged from the storm at all?
I don't think
No.
so.
No,
I think
it
it
got
was open
attacked.
until they cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it, and
hadn't
then it got ripped up.
hadn't been damaged until they hit it. Yeah. So.
Right.
So we're riding while we're taking care of this stuff.
I thought, okay, so we would have been packing up, and so Kohi would have had time to do the patching up while we were doing that.
Yeah. It could have been what
and
you guys were
then-
doing when I went. I essentially went to their camp and retrieved a chest of provisions for 6 people for 6 days.
Right.
And then horses too. So maybe you were doing that while I was doing this.
And then I don't think I would do the piton while we were in camp because I imagine we're trying to be slightly subtle. Granted, it's a pouring rain, but I'm not going to go pink, pink, pink. So
Yeah.
I'll get a little down the road before I do it, and before everyone gets to bed. So yeah, I think I searched one of the bodies, and then I would probably help pull up the tent and.
You
get
retrieved like a
situated.
one slightly
Dagger.
nice looking dagger.
Yeah, I pulled a dagger from one of them. Wasn't special, but it was nice looking.
I would pile up the bodies, leave a note that infers that
They did
they are bandits and they got what bandits get. And then we fucked off in the middle of the night. We dressed them up. We took what would be identifiable other than the fact that they were bandits off of them.
And we were leaving the red cloaks. I had 3
Yes.
red cloaks in my kit from
Dressed
forever
3 of them
ago.
in red cloaks to imply that they're red brand. And I think that might have been enough as far as we're concerned, right? And then we
Yeah.
left.
Should be good enough.
Didn't bury anything.
Why didn't you do your frosty?
I don't have time. I would love to grab one of these sons of bitches, but we don't have time. Oh, didn't we grab a body for Speak with the Dead?
Somebody wanted to bring a head.
Yeah,
and
they
that
fucking
was like
copied.
hard. Yeah, that was hard X-nayed by Kohi. I
Kohi.
thought.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
But we brought the body then, or no?
I thought we
wanted to be able
did.
to
We
talk
had
to
talked
one,
about
didn't we?
doing it. We decided not to.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm remembering last week correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys left all the bodies there.
We took what coin they might have had and took their box of provisions, their horses, and we left, right?
Yep.
We
Mhm.
rode off into the night, into the rain and the storm and thunder.
The anti-sunset.
Into the rain. Bum 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 bum.
All right, so you're making your way north.
Making your way down north.
Up
Making
north.
my way downtown.
All right. So I guess Alice on horse. Quixotic is leading the team of horses and the cart. Everybody else is hiding inside.
I think the intent was for them to attempt a
A
long
nap.
nap still.
Yeah, along the rest of the long rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be me and Alice, and I should be considered rested because I was still waiting to do another thing anyway. So
Okay.
Yeah, so how does that work? Because I was on second rest with him. Do I have to
if
Rest
there's
for-
if there's less than an hour break, you can still continue your 8-hour rest. I know, as we had talked about that before, Keelan.
Yep.
Okay.
So. Yep. As long as it's less than an hour, you're good to go.
Yeah, so I'll be chilling in the back.
I'll be in back.
Coming back.
I'm taking a nap.
Yeah.
We're a little cramped, but we're doing it.
And just, I don't know if we have like benches, but I would lay under one if someone laid on top of one, or just to make room so we could rest.
I wanted the lower bunk.
Just take it.
The way I had imagined it was that there was like basically 2 lines of benches kind of running along the sides.
No,
of
let
the,
him cuddle.
cart.
So I imagine like benches that ran on the outsides of the cart.
Yeah.
But are they like
Oh my god.
are they risen with like? It doesn't matter. I
You
guess.
guys are playing sardines in there for sure.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The important question is who's the big spoon?
Yes.
Biggest of the train spoons. Yes.
Biggest of the human spoodipede.
Spoon
go.
train.
You gotta go head to toe so it's not gay.
I mean, that's just sound logic.
Sleep ass.
That only works for 2 people.
Can I roll around in my sleep?
Pull your ass right out of the cart.
Okay, purely role play, but what does everybody do in their role play sleep?
I roll around.
Dapos is lactose intolerant and just eating off that
Oh,
cheese
no.
wheel. It's just munching off the cheese wheel.
You laugh.
Stomach.
That cheese wheel's gonna save our life. Just wait.
It better.
Somehow.
It had better save our life.
It's
We're gonna-
it's gonna be one of those festivals where you have to chase the cheese wheel down the fucking
Yeah,
steep
but it's
ass hill.
half a cheese wheel. We're gonna end up dropping off a building and killing someone.
Okay. And back to the game.
All right. So I need Kozlotic and Alice to make me perception checks
You know it.
That was
as you guys are riding through the rain, thunder.
Need them keybinds.
This reflects.
Cannot wait until
It's
I get
real
like 2
rainy.
more levels.
What am I? Am I walking? Is that what I'm doing?
No,
No, you're-
would you be riding up front in the cart?
Yeah, that's a.
I'm
Yeah.
probably real distracted about the events of the evening and struggling.
As you try and navigate your horse through the mud, it's
I
it's
rolled
hard
a
to see.
28 before we left for this check to find the road.
Oh yeah, last game.
At the end of last game, you can probably go back through the map
20,
line.
yeah, you rolled a 27.
Okay, yeah, that was specifically for finding the road.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna reuse this,
No,
I'm
this
just gonna
is
point that out.
no, this is for looking around to see if anybody's following you or, yeah. So,
Okay.
kind of as you guys are heading north now, it's probably through 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. By the time that you left, and I mean it is the darkest part of the night, and it is hard to see. And Alice, as you look out, looking through the sheets of rain, it is near impossible to see anything. Kozlotic, you're able to kind of brace yourself a little bit more against the cart and try and get a little bit of more of a gander to what's going on. And you guys don't see, looking behind, as you look behind you at the backside of the cart, you don't see any lights following you. You guys have no lights yourselves, I'm assuming, right?
Right.
No
Well, I think
lanterns.
everybody that's awake, except for Kohi, who has the night goggles, can see in the dark.
And as you're listening, like off in the distance, like you hear wolves, but you aren't sure how. They sound a ways off, and you know that wolves try not to come out in the rain there. But
Can I survival check that maybe?
sure.
Wolf comes out on a open road while a carriage is running down. They're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Oh, you-
Well, the horses. Is there a way for me to assist him just because it's a direction thing, not necessarily a knowledge thing?
What?
Sure.
Because it's not like it's not like tracking in the rain, it's an auditory thing. So I'm asking if I can assist because I'm not trained in survival. Give him advantage.
It was halfway between the 15 and a 5. And it gave me the 5. Fucking bitch.
Sure. I'll give you.
It's fine.
I'll give you advantage on it, Cody.
It was cocked on the bottom of the whatever browser.
Hit it again, Kohi.
I'm doing it, chill.
I think
God
it's
Do
damn
the
it.
thing.
There we go.
You put your ear out and you listen, and you hear it again, way off in the distance.
They're far off. We should be fine. As long as we kind of make it through here.
You don't think that they hear or sense you necessarily, or your horses, but at least at this point in time, you think it's probably just some other sort of kill that they are making in the night.
Okay.
And so you guys continue your way up to Port Belast. And as you do, the sky begins to lighten, but the rain is still coming. It's, as you kind of look out, it doesn't look like there's any end in sight of the storm off in the distance out west. And so you continue to plod along. You guys riding in silence, or you guys chatting amongst yourselves?
Are we waking up yet?
No, they're napping for a bit, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Quixotic's just he's kind of focused, so he's kind of got a little bit of a rock, and he's just kind of humming a little bit to himself. He just seems kind of upset about the whole thing.
Okay. Sounds good. Alice.
I have finally figured out how to ride a damn horse. After a couple hours of
Oh, you've never ridden a horse before?
I don't know, maybe I'm not real good at it. Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like something I'd be real good at.
Daddy didn't buy you a pony when you were younger?
Not one that I could ride.
Oh, fair enough. The blood sacrifices were top notch, though.
Right?
All right. Okay, you guys continue on, and the sky has lightened considerably now. It's well past normal morning wake time.
Probably need to catch up a little bit, don't we, for getting woken up in the middle of the night? Or do you think we're okay?
That's up to you guys.
I don't
I
know
mean,
if
like, how to judge when my character would wake up. Like, if I feel like losing that time, fuck me, and I need to take more time, then my character will stay asleep longer.
You don't think that your actions in the middle of the night would have caused you to need any more sleep than necessary. But the rain is making just a very dreary, dreadful day.
I'll kind of shoot up a little bit. Not a lot, not like a cold sweat or anything like that, but I'll kind of startle awake after what had happened last night. Not really forgetting what happened, but forgetting that it's morning and I'm in a state of heightened awareness and concern, and not seeing Alice in the cart would make me a little like frantic, and I would look around for her and then maybe kind of realize that she's outside, and then I'll look outside to see her if she's out there riding.
Okay. Yeah, you look out and you see Alice. You peek your head out of the cart and you see Alice kind of riding along, plodding along, step by step along the side of the cart with her horse.
Yeah, I'll breathe a sigh of relief and kind of heavily sit down and sigh and sit.
Okay.
Keelan, can I make some sort of I mean, it would have to be a book learning thing or something I've heard, but
Learning.
how long we can run a horse without them, like a wet horse, without them, pissing off, like fucking off and dying? Well, because we rode half a
breaking
day
these things,
out.
or are we just like trotting along?
Well, I don't know. We rode half a day. Well, I mean, I'm not like whipping through the night, but like we rode half a day out of town before we stopped, slept for probably 5 hours, and then we're riding them again. I just want to make sure that the horses aren't gonna fucking quit on us before we get to town.
Right.
Yeah, make me a animal handling check.
I will ask Kohi if he knows anything about horses.
Let's take a look. Animal handling, I got a +3. I can help you. I'll give you some guidance.
Okay, so you're gonna give me guidance.
Mhm.
Alright, so I roll I roll
You get a
normal
D4.
then with an additional D4 then, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Can't look. Is it like, oh, there we go. Thought it was like spinning in place or something. So it'll be a 18.
What was that?
18.
18. Okay. You know that horses, if they, basically after about 9 hours of travel in a day, horses start to get a little bit shaky on their feet, and
What
basically,
rest do they require to recover from
Yeah,
it?
how much downtime?
I mean, usually it's about 12 hours or so. I like 8 to, and similar to what you guys do as
Yeah, okay.
as people.
If we switch out the horses that are pulling versus the horses that we have kind of riding along with us, do I think it will matter the amount of exertion they have or no? Like, I mean, they're still walking the same distance, but one of them's putting in less effort. Like, do I think we can squeeze a little more out of them that way?
You think that swapping out the horses with the ones that are pulling would probably lighten the load on them a little bit, and you think you could probably get some more distance out of them.
Okay. So I'll ride them till they start to look weird, and then actually, like the first signs of fatigue. I don't want to like completely blow out their knees or something, having them pull a cart and then swap to the next pair, so we're just dragging them.
Okay.
I'll do the best I can, and I'll explain to Kohi what I think is going on. I think at some point we're going to need to change these horses out if we want to continue.
Yeah, they look pretty gassed. Mhm.
So we'll ride them till we think we can't, and then we'll swap them out, and so we'll have to pull this side at some point, and
Yeah,
you'll have
there's
to tell
an
us.
extra horse being drawn by what I assume is Alice's horse. No one on it.
Yeah, well, so we have 3 spare horses now. We've got the one that Davpost was riding, and then we've got the 2 that we took from the cultists
Yeah.
You guys had tied up the 2 from the cultists to the back of the cart.
cart. Yeah,
Oh no, Alice took the one that Davpost rode.
road. Yeah,
Normally. Okay.
and then we've got the 2 on the back of the cart. So
Yeah.
those are the 2 that I think we would swap out with at some point. So we'll ride until we think it's appropriate and swap them out. And when we stop to swap out, I'll do a quick check around to make sure, this isn't the ideal spot for an ambush. And then we'll keep going.
It's always an ideal spot for an ambush.
They came from behind.
So we're gonna take a minute. We're gonna work through the horse thing. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Like we're gonna stop and we're gonna
Well,
horses.
whenever he wants to insert it in said travel time,
Okay.
we'll do that. I was planning ahead so that he's not like all of a sudden they drop dead. I was like, well, I was gonna wait for that. I was gonna ask about that. Well, they're dead now.
I
Fuck.
appreciate it. All right. So at this point, you guys kind of take your time. You start to notice that the horses are starting to basically look a little bit weary, and you think it's probably about time to kind of swap out the horses with some
All right.
fresh horses or some fresher horses.
Yeah. Well, so I'll stop and look around and make sure that we're not, like I said, going into a murder pit, and then step out and swap them around. I'll ask Kohi to help me out, and maybe Alice as well if she's any better with horses than I am.
All right.
I assume these. Sorry, go on.
+2, you're all right.
I mean, I'm not awful. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're trained, it's not really a check for the most part, unless they start getting flipped out.
Yeah.
So
If we're all stopping to swap out horses, I'll get out of the cart and I'll go over to you, ask you how you're doing.
I could use a little rest.
Yeah, you should probably go inside and lay down. But how are you doing?
I think the shock has worn off. I'm pretty anxious about this whole situation.
We always expected it to happen.
We did?
You're gonna find us eventually. You never expected them to.
I guess not this early, not like this.
Well, we weren't careful in Neverwinter. I don't know if we got lazy or what, but could have done better.
I guess that's a hard lesson we had to learn.
Yeah, and at this point, we don't need to hide anymore. We're on a road that goes one way, essentially to one big town, so they know where we're going.
All right, I guess we'll just have to sharpen the blades.
is
It's gonna
this
be a fight.
is this a
Yeah.
conversation that we would all hear then?
I mean,
Or
she's
are you
essentially
kind of
just
off to
sitting
the
outside
side?
the cart and I'm talking to her. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to be
Okay.
secretive about it. I'm just talking to her.
As we're walking around, I say, I do have concerns about how they got to the rest point before us, and think it might be good when we get to Port Last to perhaps change our travel route.
Yeah, I assume that they knew where we were going, so they left. Well, they weren't. They were. This is out of character. Were they literally like in front of us as we traveled, or were they just there when we got there?
They were. It was the same cart that was in front of you guys the entire time that had pulled off
Yeah,
to make.
they
camp
could
in
have
front
very
of you
well.
guys.
We spent time in a toy shop, spent the night, went to 2 shops before we left. My assumption is they heard that we were there and just let us out. Like they just went out, left with us, waited for a good time to attack us. I mean,
Keelan,
we were comfortable. We're more comfortable sleeping here and less careful outside of Neverwinter. So it's probably a better idea to attack us then rather than in Neverwinter when we were on guard.
Keelan, you had said that I had overheard one of them talking about the bookshop, right? I made a note that I heard someone say they're from the bookshop.
I just wish that, on the way
You
home.
heard them say something about a shop. You weren't sure if it was bookshop
I-
necessarily.
I thought
a
you
bookshop.
specifically said bookshop.
You did.
Magic shop.
Okay.
Okay, and had I heard, Keelan, I guess you're gonna remember for me, had I heard them say that they saw us at the bookshop, or like someone had informed them? Because they mentioned the bookshop, I just don't remember out of
said-
character.
That's them. They're the ones at insert magic shop's name.
Well, the bookshop, right?
I don't think it was the bookshop. I thought it was the magic shop.
Oh, I thought you
What?
mentioned magic shop in
Or like
like
the-
specifically.
They saw you
like
guys
the
at
bookshop.
at one of the shops.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So my assumption is then they knew where we were, and probably someone reported while we were shopping somewhere, and they just went out of the town in front of us,
Okay.
waited for us to go somewhere we felt comfortable, and attacked us. And that's what they did. So going forward, I guess we just expect a fight. We hold to doing shifts at night in earnest.
hmm
Actually watch. Don't just sit up.
Yeah, we might have to do two at
Yeah.
a time if we can.
Yeah.
I was doing the best I could. The weather was fucking awful, and I had
was-
Nicola with me, and
No one doubts that.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anyone. No one was careful in Neverwinter to the degree we should have been. So
so
we learned
I
a hard lesson last night. No one was hurt terribly. No one was taken terribly.
Bar.
Yeah.
Take it far.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, that might be something to think about, though, is if we want to change our travel route somehow. Maybe.
While
So
we're-
there's a.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
go on.
No, you go
No.
ahead.
was gonna say, well, there's the road up, and then we could probably take maybe a boat from Port Last to just up to Luskin.
I'll tell you what.
instead of
Go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done. That's my
no,
bad.
he's just slow at speaking apparently. This isn't his native language. If we take the boat, I mean, the only people that can ambush us are the ones that know we're there.
Yeah.
You know?
My thought process on that is that we can't. At a port, everybody talks. The wharf master, the bartender, the people coming off of a boat, the people going onto a boat. Our best bet on faking or misleading anyone that's following us is get on a boat that is literally not going where we want to go, so that there is no lying to be done. There's no deception to be done.
Well, then what do we do when we are on the boat?
We leave port, and when we leave port and there's nothing to be done to tell anyone where we were going, we bribe the captain. We have more money
to change
than
course, or
yes, to change course. If someone's going from Port Last to Waterdeep, someone's going back to Neverwinter, we literally bribe them off coast to turn around and go where we want to go.
If I knew anything about ship captains, that might be tricky. If
Could
they,
be
especially
tricky,
if they have cargo.
It's true. We just need to offer them more than what they feel they are losing or what it's worth. And we have money.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
We bribe our way onto a ship heading to Waterdeep, like you said. We just don't get on the ship.
that's just a lot of money. So my thought is, quite frankly, a boat is faster than land travel any
Yeah.
day of the week, unless there's another storm like this right after this one. I mean, we just haul ass. We get on the boat and get where we want to go and try and beat them through
True.
a pass. That's my thought.
I assumed we could do that too, but I was hoping for a bit of
Yeah.
misdirection. That if-
Nicola, will you be okay if we get on a boat? Or
Yeah, I'll be okay. I just I'm not a fan of when the water starts to freeze. And that's where we ran into a lot of problem last time, and it came on very quickly.
Yeah.
And what do you think though? Is
I-
it better just to grab a boat, charter it, and go as fast as we can, or to bribe a captain to turn at the point where no one can know that we're turning?
It could go either way. When we got beached and when my boat got beached and wouldn't go any farther, that was kind of what we were trying to do. We were trying to go, and we didn't heed the warnings of the water, and the crew paid for it. So I think we can get a boat fairly close to it, but I would not want to get close when it starts to freeze.
Well, there's that
Here-
road that leads from just past Luskin called 10 Road, isn't it?
Well, yeah, so it's not my intent to take the boat all the way. It was just to get up to Luskin faster. So here's my counter argument to the subterfuge. You were just saying that sailors talk. My thought is that just like on the road here, anyone that passes us coming down from Luskin is going to see the boat. You know, especially the boat that was supposed to go down to anywhere else. If they're going to pass it, they're going to recognize it. It's going to have the name painted right on the damn side.
I'm a bit
And-
apprehensive about every boat knowing every boat sailing close enough to one another to be identifiable, and even in a trade route.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that would be. I would have to defer to the sailor here than anybody else. I just think that
Yeah.
if we get on a boat and they say it's going one place and it goes another, it's going to probably get recognized. I feel like.
Well, yeah, I feel like that'll get found out eventually. How determined are these people? You know, are they likely to? Is there a resolution point here, or are they just going to keep coming, or will they kind of wane off once we get out of some sort of territory, or what are we looking at here? Alice and
Keelan, I am not
Ron.
full stop here. I will be holding this conversation while I'm continuing to change out the horses. Because we are in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah.
So
They-
so we don't stop in the middle of the road and have this. It would be while I'm doing whatever.
They want me. I don't know how much they're willing to do or how dire they feel that their circumstances are right now. I don't know what lengths they're willing to go to.
Oh, just the transfer of power is an important part. I mean, if you were intended to be next in line in succession, then that is what they have to do. What they do with you after you have power, I don't know. I don't trust it, but I think they need to do it. And that's why they're after her.
Because I mean, these guys could chase us to the ends of the earth for for a while. So we might need to settle in and get real good at sowing a bunch of disinformation and covering our tracks multiple ways, multiple times. So
It's why I was interested. If we're gonna haul ass isn't a great vernacular. If we were gonna expedite travel via boat north, we could very well expedite travel north via cart at the same time.
The boat is just flat out faster, though, is it not?
It's likely, but it's more expensive, and it doesn't. My point is that going north a known way or going north a known way, and my plan, which we don't need to do, but the benefit of my plan is that if a boat is supposed to go to Waterdeep, for instance, and it's supposed to go to Waterdeep until it leaves port, that's where it's going to go, and that's where they'll think we're going. But the chances of us chartering a boat to Luskan from port last, and the word getting out enough to these people, is non-zero. And I'm looking to eliminate that. We could lie and do our best to hide it, but the information could still get out.
well,
But if we take a boat and change it mid-route, it's the best way to make them think we're going somewhere.
I think it might be worth a try.
Okay, so then as I finish hitching up the horses, and I'm kind of like, oh, let's go.
Hmm?
Hauling ass is still the number one priority. As I'm thinking about that, okay, so first decision is, do we want to try a boat route as opposed to a land route at this point regardless? It seems like it will be faster. That is my,
Yes.
I
my
think so.
first thought. Okay. So with that in mind, I would suggest, and I do not know this, if we can find a boat that's going anywhere but Luskan, we find one that has a non-perishable good that can be sold anywhere that is not specific to have to go to Waterdeep, like a commissioned piece. If we can find something like that, I think we will be very likely to be able to get the captain to change course.
I
Yeah.
agree.
The check boxes on your stipulations could be superseded by just finding the seediest captain we can find.
That's true. I mean, I was just assuming that the captain would care about his reputation, and you are correct. If we find a seedy one, he won't give a fuck.
True. He'll let his shipment of spice spoil or whatever the hell he's taking if we just pay the seediest one the most amount of money.
Now, you keep in mind, if it is a full shipment, I mean, that will be not
Significant.
insubstantial amount
True.
of money.
That's what I'm counting on port.
Well, maybe we'll have someone who has skins or
Yeah.
cloth. It doesn't have to be perishable, but it's something to consider.
I'm
And
not
Yeah,
trying
so
to nail down.
anyway.
Okay, can you make me a knowledge history check? Because you're kind of familiar with the Neverwinter area and kind of this region of the world.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one too.
Kind of as the time that you spent in Neverwinter and hearing people talk about Port Last, like, you know that the town is not very well, has not been kept up very well. It's kind of been in decline and raided recently in the last few years by frost giants and drow raiders. It's a town that's known for its stone cutting. and that's generally their main export out of that area.
And they need stone in the north or the south.
To the big city. Probably never went there.
Yeah, you know that Luskin, further to the north, and Tehran, you would know this as well. Just in general, that Luskin holds a lot of the trade good routes in the north here. And that most of the trading and shipping goes, if it's not going to Neverwinter, would go in and out of Luskin. Port Last is kind of a small stain on a map for most people.
Okay.
So
the likelihood of a boat going to Luskin is more likely from Port Last than not. The big ones would be leaving Luskin then, is what you're kind of inferring.
Yeah, and like most boats would probably not go from Port Last up to Luskin, but just because the trading of the of stone would go south from Port Last, most likely.
So the likelihood of what I'm suggesting is getting a little stronger, or if we found a boat in Port Last, it's most likely going south and not north.
That's generally kind of what you know about in the past, but it's kind of the middle of winter up here, and there's things tend to slow down a little bit shipping wise. So
cool.
Could I propose one last thing before we go? Could we just bribe a captain, throw you guys in some barrels, and roll you onto the ship? As long as they don't know who you're with, which is something that we can arrange, and just throw you guys in boxes in the middle of the night and put you on the ship and set out.
I don't mean to continuously shoot down what you're saying, but like the people that attacked us, they know who we're with.
Yeah,
we'd have
we're
to
a
hide.
package.
We'd have to hide all of us,
We're a package deal
or
now.
it's not worth our time.
That can be, that is fully possible, I say, and I kind of look at Alice and Kohi and say it is entirely possible that we could load the rest of you onto ships, and the person that goes onto that boat is no one they have encountered before.
It's true. We just have to be able to be loaded. That'd be our scheme to occupy some kind of crate and be loaded on. So
We'd have to, well, some
no, it sounds good.
entirely possible third party could walk up and just say, I will give you a lot of money to load these crates onto this boat at this time and take it to Luskin.
Yeah, no, it's feasible too.
That is also an option. So we can think about it as we ride. And so
Okay.
Do we think it'd be worth it to also, maybe drop hints along the way that someone's looking to ship cargo to Waterdeep, or someone's looking to ship cargo to, the Moonshay Isles, someone's looking to ship cargo to, a bunch of different towns, right?
You mean like
Candlekeep,
while we're
etc.
traveling this route?
Yeah, just drop random pieces of disinformation
I guess.
all along the way. Just like, casually mention it,
Yeah.
or,
Keelan, did we kind of break away from the general group that is traveling? Like there are people who leave during the day from Neverwinter and probably camped near the same place, would rest for the same amount of time and leave in somewhat of a train. Like have we kind of separated ourselves from that, or is there still enough traffic on this trail that we're running into people?
As you guys have been traveling since like the early morning and whatnot, you haven't really passed anybody along the way, and you haven't really you haven't encountered anybody else. You don't think you've seen any camps. It's been pretty quiet on the road. You think that the people that you saw at the trees was a large group of the people that had kind of made their way out of town recently. So
yeah, sowing disinformation is not a bad idea, but I feel as though we've broken away from the chain of information when it comes to this road. I mean, we're traveling on our own away from most people.
So the difficult part now is if the horses are going to make it to last before they crap out on us.
Yeah.
because we're already on our second set of horses right now. And the second set has already been walking with us the whole time. It's not like we're changing wagon wheels.
No,
These are these are also used.
I'm hoping
so-
we at least get as far or farther than somebody who didn't. I mean,
Yes, I understand. I agree. I'm just hoping. I'm saying that at some point, they might catch up to us just for the fact that we're going to have to stop too again at some point.
Yeah.
Well, how about this for an idea? How about we just find the nearest place to make camp and we spend a day just
Off the road.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to waste our head start. That's my only concern.
I agree, but at the same time, like if we run these horses in the ground, it's not like we're going to go much further.
if we get to Port Last, that's as far as we need to get, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
but
need
how
to-
far are we from Port Last at this point?
Yeah, I guess that's the question for Keelan. Like, how far have
Wow.
we made it, and how much is left, as far as we know?
It's been hard. It's been slow going today through the mud as the rain has continued. The mud has gotten deeper as your horses plod along. You think you travel about 20 miles the first day before you bunkered down to try and make camp. And based on like where you guys were at, you think that there's probably another 20 or so miles to go. Halfway through the day today, you think you've probably gone about 10 miles or so. You think you probably have another 10 to 14 miles to go yet.
The horses likely won't make it that far, yeah?
If we ran them to death, would we make it? Could we make an animal handling check and see if we think we could make it there on what we have?
Sure. Make me an animal handling check.
Roll it. I got
Well,
is anyone good at? I was gonna say, who's good with animals? 'Cause
I'm a +3.
all right, I will assist you because I've been working with the because
Oh,
I've been
assist
working
me.
with the horses
Please,
all day.
Please assist me.
I just
Why don't you
okay,
guide
so-
yourself, please?
Can
I'll
you
just
guide
stick
yourself?
I'll stick my finger right in my nose then.
Yeah. no, okay, so
Jesus.
That wasn't where I
Christ.
thought you were
Come
going to stick your
on,
finger.
Coey.
at the very last second, I'm very glad I said that before you rolled. Captain jumps the gun.
You won.
It's gonna be close. The horses are cold. They are battered from the wind and the rain. You think that they'll make it, but it's gonna be a close shot to get when you get there.
Like,
Is there
with them
anything we could do
alive, or-
to them to get them as close as we can? Feed them, give them coffee or something stupid, get them all pissed off and ready to run.
Rest.
So
You know what? I am also cold and battered, and I'm a little scared, and I think we should take a little rest.
as much as I like a little rest, I feel like Quix was right to say that we are losing our head start. If we rest, the people who did rest and left at a reasonable time could either catch up to us or pass us. And then
My
we're
worry
passing
is-
people to get to Port Last.
My worry is there was already a cart ahead of us, and now we're, I think, 30 miles out. If they get good horses, like solid bred horses, and just run like the Dickens, they will catch us. And that's why I want to just get as far away as we can.
Yeah.
And so,
a
yeah,
new earthquake.
you're right. It's only going to help for so long.
No. I feel like I'm not worried about horses. If we run these horses that are hooked up now, trade in the last little bit of these horses that we have who will be running in the back now. If it's going to be close, I'd rather risk it and rest close to Port Last than rest here.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
Get to close to Port Last, but I think we should start thinking about not making it to Port Last and start looking for a place
Sure.
to shelter.
I think that's reasonable. Let's run these horses ragged, release them, finish the leg with the horses tied to the back now.
So
agree.
The
here's
ones
a
that we
crazy
screwed up.
thought. I mean, if we run them to death, are we okay with just fleeing on foot for the past? Because we don't need anything in the cart. Quite frankly, we don't need the cart.
pulling the carriage to death, the ones in the back will not be that bad, and they'll at least be able to rest while we rest, and they could finish the leg with us.
I don't feel
You
super
also-
good about just destroying creatures that are service animals.
He's not saying run them to death. He's saying get as far as we can before they start getting.
He says that, and I
He
look at him,
literally
and I'm like,
said.
I literally,
he says, "No, that's what I said."
you
I'm trying to
Don't-
defend
don't-
you, okay,
don't
Talon?
apologize for me. I would leave any one of you bleeding to death to save her. You think I won't sacrifice 2 horses? You're foolish.
That I can
I don't like
respect that. Yeah.
I appreciate you, but you know, I got a soft spot.
This is not the time to be soft. We push these horses, then we can let them go. They can live their lives on the coast where they have always dreamed of living.
That's what
And
I've
then we
heard about
finish
horses.
the leg with the horses we bought. We get our deposit back in Port Last. If anybody gives half a shit about 100 gold at this point, and we get the fuck out of Port Last and we go to Luskin. Let's move, at least.
Yeah. Well, and we're like I said, we're still riding while we're having this conversation at this point.
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
let's go.
All right, you guys have been traveling for a while now. The horses are trotting along, making their way, and it's
No way down. No.
Making our way up north,
and
moving slow.
as
Sorry about getting that
the
song
as the
stuck in everybody's head.
horses continue to, they're up to their knees now in the mud as your wheels, they're almost getting stuck in some spots, and you guys have to get out and kind of rock the cart to get unstuck from the mud as the rain continues.
I'm voting find shelter as soon as possible at this point. We're not going to make good time anymore.
Yes. Who is outside the cart driving it or riding on horses at this point?
I was.
I'm riding a horse.
I didn't say, but
I thought
I
you
would-
switched with me.
I thought I switched with her. So
Okay.
there's 2 horses.
I'm
in the
usually
back.
outside.
Yeah,
And at
because
least if
no,
you want to ride a horse, Daphos, I would just sit up front then.
Okay.
you had kind of mentioned that Alice was going to take a rest for a while
Yeah,
because
and
she
I
had
was-
said so. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. If it gets to the point where it's causing undue strain on the horses, it's not going to get us there anyway. So we might have to figure out a different plan then.
Well, is the other plan walk? Or
You
wait
know,
and fight?
honestly, so hear me out. We have 3 okay-ish horses and a sled that's disguised as a turtle. If we just flip him on his back and drag him in the mud, we could make okay time.
The problem is then we're increasing our bounty on our heads at this point, guys.
For how?
Oh, so?
The cart.
It's 100 gold. I would just.
I would go
Well,
to
we
the
paid for
carrier
it. It's just a
Port
deposit.
Last and just leave the difference
Money.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's,
don't
he's
care.
gonna be covered because of the 100 gold. I mean,
Not
that's
worried
kind
I
of-
about
I agree to that form, but we can't leave the cart here in the middle of the road. That's what I'm saying.
I don't see why not. There's nothing in
That's
it
fine.
that's useful.
Bandits
all I'm
will
saying
take
is
it
that
in,
we run the
you know,
horses
2
pulling the
days.
cart till they can't, and
Yep.
then we rest or push with the rest, or push with the other 2 horses. We think we can make it. Either way,
Okay.
we're
Is it the
finishing it
essence,
with
or
the
we're gonna be
horses
fighting.
and the cart that we rented.
Yeah,
And they'll
we're
bring
fighting
more.
now.
Yeah, they'll bring more than they brought the last time.
The DM, you're saying that the horses are slowing down to the point where we're having to get out and rock the cart, right?
The cart's just there's lots of deep muddy spots that you guys are running into.
Okay. How far do you think we've made it since we decided to push with the second set of horses?
You guys are probably 5 miles out from Port the Last at this point.
I feel like this is fine. The people who are behind us started later. The roads are worse. They're not going to make it up to us.
What time is it?
I don't know. What time is it?
It's hard to tell with the sun kind of being behind the clouds all day today.
Hey, Nicola, what time is it?
I can't recall if you never knew.
Yeah, he does. He always knows what time it is and where north is.
I thought
Oh,
that's a
is it?
different thing,
Period.
isn't it?
No, he's actually right.
Yeah.
I thought
It
that was a
doesn't matter if
different
we're
feat.
underground, undercover, or asleep for 100 fucking years. He knows what time it is, and he knows where north is.
Does he know what time it is and where north is?
I'm asking you, DM. What time is it?
No. I'm asking you how Nicola knows what time it is and where north is.
I thought he
Because
could
he's got
recall
the
anything
feet.
he knew within 30 days.
There's other stuff too.
There's other stipulations on Keen Mind. Here.
Hang on, I'm looking it up. It's
It is
yeah.
a
You always know
bullshit-
which way north is. You always know the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset is like Article 2, and
Yeah.
then you can accurately recall anything you have seen or
Yes.
heard within
It
the past
is a
month.
literal atomic clock and GPS system. Is what that feed is.
Nicola.
So DM, I would like to remind myself what time it
What
is.
time it is of day?
All right. You know that there are probably 4 hours left or so before sunset.
So it's like 3, 2. Is it winter or is it summer?
It is winter.
So it's like 2 to 3 o'clock.
Let's try it.
About that time.
Okay. I say it's about 3 o'clock.
My assumption is that people who left hours after we did are going into worse roads than we rode through, because it's
I
never
agree.
stopped raining. So I don't think they can catch us. And if they do, fucking Godspeed, we will fight them, because we are not going to rest easy tonight. So
I
maybe
mean,
we
that,
should make
yeah,
camp.
like either we try as hard as we can and we make it, or we try as hard as we can and we don't. We fight
Let's
them.
Let's make
Push
camp.
forward.
Let's make camp now and rest early, leave early.
All right, let's do it.
So
Is
you're
there
making
anywhere to
camp
bunker?
here?
Is there anywhere to bunker down around here, similar
Yeah,
to where we
let's
found?
let's take a look around if there's another stand of trees or something in the next like mile or so.
Yeah, we could push the horses another mile or two to find a better place.
I'll stand up on the bench seat and try and get a good scout look.
Did I misunderstand? You said it's only like 3 o'clock and we only have 5 miles to go. But we're gonna stop here?
Well, the
Well-
horses are getting stuck. We're gonna run them to death just walking them through the mud probably at this point.
Oh, you could walk 5 miles and like.
I suppose. Are we going to be exhausted though? Do we push the horses to? Do we just switch the horses and push them and see how?
The thing
close
is
we get?
even the ones that are walking behind us are walking through the same muds. They're going to be
Yeah.
exhausted.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I
I
was
think-
for resting, so I just didn't. I was surprised that you changed your tune.
I didn't change my
think-
tune. This is kind of the plan.
I think we rest. Okay, so I'm gonna stand up on the bench and make a perception check, see if I can find a good spot to camp. Is Kohi awake or asleep? Is he gonna give me a guidance, or I'll take that as a maybe.
Sorry, what was that? Murmured?
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna make my perception check.
Make me a perception check.
Come on. Where'd the dice go? I think it rolled off the table.
Yeah, I would have been riding on the cart next to you, Quixotic, but I would have been very purposeful and kind of stoic, considering the.
Yeah,
Yes,
I have not been conversational at all. I've been
He appreciates it.
not. Yeah, like I said, he's got a bit of a rock going, and he's humming to himself, and he is purpose-driven at this point. All right.
All right, with a 20, looking around, you see a stand of trees. It's smaller than what you stopped at the previous night. Probably about a mile or so up the road.
You guys want me to ride ahead?
Do I think the horses can make it there?
Make me an animal handling check.
Okay.
Oh, you're awake, right?
Yeah, Kohi, do you think the horses can make this? I see something about
I
a
got
mile
yelled
up
at the
road.
last time I did an animal handling. You want me to do
Why?
it?
I do. Why did you
Okay.
get yelled at?
You rolled a nat
I
one.
jumped the gun. According
I am
to you.
assisting you. Yeah. I am asking you and attempting to make the same assumptions you are. You may roll as if I were helping you.
You think, looking at the horses, I mean, like, you swapped them out, and you think that the horses, it's going to be a rough ride there as you're looking through you're looking at the road, and it's deep mud. But you think the horses would be able to make it to the trees?
You gotta be easy with these ones. They can break their legs and get stuck in this mud. And I start patting its face. It's okay.
Good horsey.
Aw.
All right.
What are you doing in the back during all this?
Trying to conserve my energy.
Monty and Nicola.
Wringing out my leather.
I'm still going off of the assumption that I'm still partially hurt from the last fight, so I'm just kind of taking it easy.
We finished our long rest, didn't we?
So
I
that
don't think we did.
I did not.
Nicola
'Cause
and
I rode.
Monty never weren't resting in the back during the day of travel. I would assume they'd get their long rest eventually, right?
Yeah.
so that's my question though, is because I was damaged in the middle of the long rest. Do I get everything, or would that count as a short rest?
You essentially
Rest.
You do get everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
you've rested since we left and haven't done much in the way of not resting since. So same thing with Monty.
I don't think
Yeah,
we rested
I had
at all.
assumed I finished my rest and I was out doing what I normally do, like following alongside the vehicle. But yeah, so either way, that's where I was and what I was up to. So we're walking a mile. We're literally four miles from Port Last, and we're gonna camp for the night.
We're
Can't
not
make
going to
it.
make it on the horses. That's the problem.
The horses get stuck.
An average human walks 3 to 4 miles in an hour.
Not through
Not in heavy
mud.
mud, yeah.
How quickly do you
Okay,
walk?
so it takes
trudging
3
through
times
mud?
as long, and we get there at 6 p.m.
I suppose we're
Exhausted.
all rested. If we're gonna rest anyway, what's the point?
Like, what's more risky?
We have a choice. We have to abandon the cart and the horses and hoof it on foot, or we camp in the night
But-
and then go that way.
I would
That's
rather
our
show.
choice.
Kohi, with 22 animal handling, do you think that if you, looking at the horses and kind of your knowledge of kind of working with animals, that if you guys are out helping the horses along and taking as much weight out of the cart as possible, keeping an eye out for any rocks that may break any horse ankles or whatnot, and basically walking alongside them, the horses would stand a better chance as opposed to you guys just riding in the cart, making it the last 5 miles or so.
if
That's
we're-
the case. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is if at that point, if we're walking anyway, we just abandon it and walk. You know, if we're going to try,
If
we
we're
have to refund it, or we're going to have a bounty placed on us, and then there's more
oh,
people.
we just pay it off, buy a new cart, say you
The
never
thing-
saw us.
Well, the thing is, we're gonna walk anyway. May as well walk the last bit with the cart, with the horses.
All right.
Finish
Well,
it.
whatever. Let's get us there then. To the town.
So I'll slide out of the cart, and my bare
So we're all walking
tiefling clawed
uneven.
feet will
Yeah.
slide
I'll
into
walk-
6
I'll-
inches of muck. And I make a face like,
I'll get
Ugh.
off. Yeah, I'll get off of my horse and I'll kind of look at Nicola or Monty and some like the less physically or like you rely less on physicality, and I'll offer the horse to either one of you or Daft Post.
Tehran, is it a high horse?
It's always a high horse.
Hey.
Ah,
I'll walk in front of the horses and in front of the cart and kind of walk them through.
I'll walk. You can have it, Nico. I'm used to.
All right. I mount the horse.
Make
Yeah,
a sneaky
I'll be
snack.
getting off
The high horse.
to help the cart if I need to help the cart.
I'll walk along
Yee.
front and kind of
Alright.
try and keep an eye on the path. The weather's still coming down, correct?
Make me a survival check.
Can I make you a hold my hand out check and see if it's just fucking pouring?
From where, like, in your immediateness, yes, it's still pouring.
Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't checking to see if it was breaking. I was just checking to see if it was gonna be miserable.
Yeah, he's just
And the
checking
answer
with
is
the DM
yes.
for the setting.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So
I'll
yeah,
put
he,
my hood's up. Oh, you'll see my white hair kind of starting to break out of its braid, hanging out of the cloak, and just head down, helping push the cart, helping lead the horses.
yeah, I'll still kind of try and keep an eye. So Kohi's gonna be leading the horses. I'll be up on the other side of Kohi, and I'm gonna try and keep more of an eye on the surroundings. I mean,
I'm
the
watching
hor-
behind us.
As I'm like leading the cart, I'll look up to Quixotic and I'll mention I didn't say before, but if we ever make it to Bryn Shander, there's something waiting for you.
Quixotic kind of. I'm gonna make an inside check. I don't.
Sure, go ahead. I'm not.
I know you're not. It just sounded menacing. I can't roll below an 8, so it'd be a 16.
Okay.
So
I mean,
okay,
you would understand that I'm being sincere and that
Yeah.
maybe I'd gotten you a gift and that makes you uneasy.
Okay. Yeah, that is also weird for him.
Is
Whether
he
it was a good thing or a
ringing?
bad thing.
Does he want to be the big spoon again?
You
Again, was I awake for that?
I don't know.
you've treated Alice well and you've taken it upon yourself to do selfless things for her, and I respect that. Also, I oversold on something and needed to make up the difference, so I did you a favor, so I didn't feel like I was losing money. So I don't think it was completely altruistic.
I appreciate the second sentiment more than the first one.
I don't care what you appreciate.
That
Cold
strikes true.
exterior.
That sounds about right.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
that armor you coveted and we fucking squabbled over for an hour. It's yours. We just have to wait for it to make it to Bryn Shander. If I don't make it and you make it, it's yours. You'll find it in whatever the biggest inn is waiting for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I will continue to do my best. For
P.S. You're a dick.
I don't give a
Everyone.
fuck. I gave you a gift. I expect you to help my friend. Doesn't bother me. But yes.
How Colin of you.
Yeah. There's a little bit of me in all my characters I play. So, and then I'll just help with the fucking carriage as it goes.
I need one person to roll me a d20.
I want to do it.
Just point.
All right, Rhiannon's doing it.
I want to do it.
Rhiannon, could you please click
I'm okay.
this button?
Move your ear.
Keybinds. Need more keybinds.
What's the D20 keybind?
Roll D20
It's
keybind.
Control Shift FD.
Control Shift FU.
There you go. 13.
Alt F4.
Yeah, I spend the last leg of this journey in the Port Last, pushing and pulling and guiding the horses through this muck. And as in the last mile or so, the rain kind of begins to lighten up, and it's not thunder. You hear one last large thundercloud go, and then it's kind of eerily, just kind of a silent, not silent, but a low kind of pattering of rain.
Do we see a rainbow?
No.
Before we go into town, I will talk to Tehran and say, so
Sun's
Know
going
where
down.
we're going.
how far
Already
is
below
the
the mountain,
sphere of
probably.
influence of this group? Like, are they going to be thick as thieves here because it's close to Neverwinter, or is it not as bad?
That's up to Keelan. As far as I know, in like lore, it's mostly Neverwinter, but I don't know what he's got cooking. What do I know? Do I know anything?
You know that most of the group stayed near Neverwinter. Occasionally, they would send runners out to actually make me a knowledge history check.
Sure thing. Normal?
Yep.
Knowledge history. Right in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, like, kind of your part in the group, and with the time that you spent there, most of the time that they would stick towards Neverwinter. They wouldn't. They didn't grow large enough to kind of branch out to many of the other cities, without kind of sacrificing the numbers in Neverwinter.
Okay. I'll read that Quixotic. If we run into anything, it'll be Splinter, it'll be small, and at the moment, without a leader, it's already splintered, so I wouldn't be that worried. but they're also chasing us, so they could have organized whatever might have been there for us to be there in a day or two. So
That's true.
They do have teleportation too.
they
That
do.
was and that was it was established that one of us knew what spell they cast, right? That was
Yeah,
not a
someone-
small.
Yeah,
spell.
someone
That
knew
was
it was
me.
Word of Recall.
Yep.
So, which is actually like one of the only teleportation spells that is like an action to cast, right? Everything else takes time, which is fucking baller. What a good choice.
It is. It's the only one that'll get you the fuck out of there.
King was like, I found it in the book 3 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, we'll go with 3 minutes.
Yeah. A teleportation circle takes like a minute, and like teleport is an action, but it's also
Teleportation, I think circle takes 10 minutes, I thought.
It does take 10 minutes.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But like Word of Recall, it's an action.
Yep.
So,
Learning something new every day.
yeah. So
Keep-
what we're gonna
Blew a
run
couple
into.
thousand gold doing that. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
go
that's a
on.
lot of money. But they probably also expected to be teleporting back with both of our bodies, so it was worth the investment as far as they're concerned, I assume.
I think it requires willing participants though to teleport, so
It does.
Oh, I guess so.
they could
Not
not
if they're
have brought you back with them.
unconscious.
Mm.
Unconscious people are always no. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
What's that? You want to finish this sentence for the recorded audio?
Let me
Uh,
consult with my lawyer.
So
Anyway.
I'll let you know
Lawyer,
that
my Magic 8 lawyer ball says no.
like, under normal circumstances, I would not worry about Port Last, but considering the willingness they are to come after us, they could have organized what little is there. So
Better to be cautious.
better to be cautious.
All right. Well, we were coming in hoods up, and I was just curious about like finding a local inn, but
Yeah.
okay, we'll do what we can because I've been awake for I don't know like 18 hours in Zerain. I'm ready for a nap and a fireplace.
For that.
I don't blame you.
And how?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Alright.
coming up to the gates.
The rain seems to be tapering off as you guys come over the crest of the hill and see down near the water along the cliff edge a small little port town that you guys recognize as Port Last.
Dumpy town.
As you guys come in, you guys see the siege engines kind of overlooking the town high up on the cliffs above the city. And as you kind of come towards the gate, you guys see that the gate is open yet, but there's a man that you can see kind of as you're coming in, kind of standing outside the gate, keeping watch.
Where's Daft Bows?
I'm right here. Yeah, when I walk up from behind the cart.
Okay. This is you. You want to talk to a guard, you want to talk to a city official, please, by all means. Intimidation doesn't go far.
All right, let me try my way then.
Yeah, this is for you.
All right.
If we run into somebody that I can strong arm, please allow me.
That's, you know what? That sounds fair to me.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I'll approach the guard on foot.
All right, he says, "Well, aren't you guys a sight for sorry eyes? Looks like your horses are struggling a little bit here at the end.
Yeah, we pushed them pretty hard to get here.
What was the hurry to get to port?
Honestly, just didn't want to stay in this as moment longer.
He is falling from the sky.
He's like, that's. he says, well, that's a very astute observation.
Who's this dude?
What we don't get a lot of visitors into Port Last at this time of year. What brings you up here?
We're just, honestly, we're passing through. We were kind of hoping we might be able to find a ship on the way out.
Okay. I mean, he looks kind of over his shoulder in town. He's like, there's not a lot in town right now, but if you're, I think the ship that is in port right now, I think they're staying over at the Stonecutters Solus. that's if you guys are looking for a place to stay, I'd recommend there.
That sounds fair. Thank you, sir.
So
I walk back up. I start heading back up towards the group. All right, we're all good. I got some information about a possible ship at the Stonecutters Inn. Worth taking a look into, at least.
Let's check it out.
All right.
We'll start leading the horses towards the closest
As we-
stable, I guess.
Yeah, as we pass the guards, I'll ask them where the farrier is, or at least the farrier would handle all horse related
Yeah.
perfunctory bullshit. Okay, good.
And he says, Sarah, she's just kind of around the corner and kind of points towards like 3 houses down. You see a kind of a large barn. There's a relatively large kind of chunk missing out of one of the corners of the roof.
Wait, was Sarah the name of that gnome horse lady from that thing I was doing? He got kicked in the face.
Maybe.
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 A lot of Sarahs in the world. It's a popular name.
I suppose, yeah. Sarah's Sarah.
Keelan's got a type. What? It's fine.
It's right.
Or
There's for
this
gnome
is
horse
Keelan's
lady.
version of his magic shop, and this one just transports around the world.
Yeah,
Right? It's actually the
Nurse
same
Joy.
horse lady.
there you
It
go.
would be.
They're all Sarah. They've all been kicked in the face.
Yes.
And he says, he's like, Sarah, she's like 3 houses down or so. She'd be able to take your horses and take care of them for you.
We owe her some horses. I'm gonna go grab my soda. We'll be back.
Okey-doke.
All right, so we'll take him over to Sarah's and talk to her about putting him up at least for the night.
Hmm. Well, she's the person we like give a receipt to, right?
No, they're up in Luskin.
Oh, that's Luskin. Yeah. Okay. we're just boarding
You guys
them.
are supposed to return. Nicola remembers that you guys are supposed to return your horses at Port Last.
Oh, this is her. Awesome.
So
Thank goodness for Nicola.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, we'll just drop him off here then.
Get
We,
hand a receipt over. Or are they in a state that we want to drop them off, or do we want to do a boarding
They
somewhere?
That's
got
her
their horses
problem.
back plus 2 horses.
that's what I was about to say. We're giving her an extra 2
Yeah.
horses.
If they
Why are
don't
we giving
owe
her an
us
extra
money,
2 horses.
then I don't care.
Okay.
all right, so you guys head over to Sarah's place.
Yep.
All right. Kind of as you get over there, you got the door is closed. And you go to knock on the door. You hear a, "What do you want?"
We are returning a lease from the brothers in Helmshold.
You hear an audible sigh from her,
Sorry for the late hour.
and she's like, "Lith did not mention."
Did he call her on his cell phone?
Were we technically supposed to take them to Luskin?
No, you were
No.
getting a soda, but it's part last.
Okay, cool.
And she's like, "All right, well, bring him around back. Be quick about it." She says, kind of through the crack door. She's trying not to let the water in into her house.
Not a problem, miss. We'll bring him up back.
And
I go back to the group. We're gonna head around back, and she's gonna meet us out there.
Little horse.
They can last another 25 feet. Hopefully. If they die on her property, it's not our problem.
Right. As soon as you turn the
brought
keys
him
over,
back.
that's not your problem. Go through
and
that inspection with them, and
so you bring the horses and the cart into like the barn attached to the house, and she kind of walks in and she's like, "What did you do to these horses?"
What we had to
We-
do.
Yeah, we had to make a Hedi escape in the middle of the night, so unfortunately, this is a side effect of that. But we brought 2 more for you.
I mean, is there anything wrong with them? I mean, they're probably in a state of they need a bath or something. But you got facilities, right?
She's
Been
like,
raining for days.
she's like,
they don't need a bath.
the brushing, the mud, the caked on, the horseshoes, like
We're hoping that
The weather
increase-
here is
the-
crazy.
Yeah, the doubling of number of horses of the order offsets whatever you might need to do in recovery.
Doubling amount of work for her.
I
That's
don't
what I
give a
hear.
shit.
Yeah, but it's
Enjoy-
horses
enjoy
that
your
she
free
can sell.
investment.
How? What am I? How did you even find 2 horses on the road?
I don't know. They're
Uh,
yours.
They're not
like-
ours anymore. They're yours.
She's like, I'll take care of your 2 horses for the evening, but I'm not one to take random horses into
Let
my
me ask
stalls.
you this: how much would one lodging for 2 horses be for, say, a week?
For a week, for 2 horses, you're looking at about 3 gold.
I hand her 10.
Fuck it, just hand. That's suspicious. Just hand her the 3 gold and move on.
No, I just hand her 10. Like, this should cover the month it takes for you to get these back to Helm's Hold.
It's make me a persuasion with advantage.
Tehran is close to just killing both the horses, so it's like, if you won't take 3 horses and 10 gold, kill both of them so you don't have to deal with them.
Horse steaks for dinner tonight.
That's a
Horses are
good.
supposed to be delicious.
That's a
pocket taken
delicacy
out of
where
that.
I'm from.
She takes the gold.
Quixotic's like busts out his knife and fork. He's like, I'm ready.
And
That's
she's like,
That post, that roll. Okay.
Yeah.
she says to you, Delphos, I'll take care of your horses for you. Taking somebody else's horses is risky on my part.
They
I-
won't miss them.
I think I can make these horses have a great life for the with the payment that you provided.
she
There
knows
you
of
go.
a farm upstate.
Yeah, can't you just scrape the VIN number off of these and just put a new one on it?
Or, they're just our horses and they're here for a month. And then after that, that's the call.
Then you resell them.
Yeah, I mentioned I was like, well, they wouldn't appreciate the journey to Baldur's Gate anyways, so
Yeah.
take
At
them.
the very least, you have a finder's fee for whoever they belong to if they come looking for them.
She says, I appreciate the suggestions. Is there anything else I
kill
can do
him.
for you?
Honestly, the only other thing I can suggest is let us leave before he kills them.
I think that's a great idea.
You watch my sword materialize in my hand.
Adios.
She said, let's leave.
Gracias.
All right.
So we're not having the steaks then? Is that
No,
what you
we're-
decided on?
No,
Let's
but
go
we
see
can
Meat's
still,
off the menu.
Vivian.
we can still get Quixotic's steaks, but let's go get grub at the inn.
at the Stonecutter Inn, yes.
The Stonecutter Inn and leave these horses to be tended. They've done us good.
Kohi's just like nuzzling one. Good boy.
Good boy.
Did good.
Get your good boy.
Not gonna lie, I really wanted to take a horse up north, but it's not happening with that. No.
For the steaks, right?
I'm glad
No.
I'm being
I
Sam.
mean,
why
you
Yeah,
ride
honestly,
it till
just-
it dies and then you eat it.
No, I really just wanted to have my Tauntaun moment. I really
Mhm.
wanted my
So you're climbing inside like a
Tauntaun.
tauntaun, right?
Wow.
There will be months of you figuring out how to stay warm in 10
We'll sleep with
towns.
people if we need to.
I know, but I really just want a Tauntaun moment.
I thought they'd smelled bad on the outside.
All right, so heading over, a number of streets over, you guys come across the sign kind of above the street. It reads "The Stonecutter Solace." It's resting on the eastern cliff cliff face, kind of built into the wall a little bit. You enter into the door. And you see a relatively large-looking, warm, welcoming, like large inn room with the innkeeper sitting behind the bar, and a couple of patrons kind of sitting at a couple different tables. He's like, "Well, and he starts counting. 3 rooms."
That'll do.
3 to 2, yeah.
So, all right, I can make that happen.
We'll probably like walk in last with our hoods up.
I figure we all have hoods up because the rain's still coming down.
That's true. Oh yeah, I assume Koei is not wearing a hood.
And then as we walk in, I'll pull down mine. So at least somebody that doesn't have their hood up. Unfortunately, I am one of the more shocking members of the group, but whatever.
I'm very inhuman. I can blend in.
There you go.
Aren't you a lion?
No, I am a lion. when I yeah, very inhuman lion. It's kind of like the cast of cats.
He says, how many nights?
1 for sure. We'll talk
3.
more in the morning if we're going to
3.
stay longer.
He's like, all right. 3 silver per person per
I'll
night
hand him-
with food included.
Oh, cool. What about alcohol?
Baths.
Alcohol's extra.
Let's say
Baths.
a good evening.
We don't
What's
offer
an
those.
alcohol?
Happy ending evening or
No, just
What brand of booze is that?
To turn down the room. No joke.
more along the lines of I just don't want to have to worry about having to cover our food and drinks for the night. So it's just like for a good night.
I don't plan on drinking. So
Whatever. Okay, I throw down 9 silver.
Okay.
That's a good joke.
He pulls out 3 keys and he's like, food in the room, food down here.
Food in the room? I looked at everybody.
I'm sorry, was there a mention of a bath in there? I thought I heard for a moment.
Yeah, we don't offer those.
Is there somewhere around here that does?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to,
And outside it's raining.
there's like a shower outside right now.
They're free.
free showers, whoever
Dallas
wants. One.
costs 5 gold.
He's like, there's the Seat of Swords outside as well if you need a chillier bath.
All about the
Is
cold
there a
baths around here.
fireplace in the room or down here or somewhere? I just want to warm my bones.
There's a roaring fire and a large fireplace at the far end of the inn.
Is there like, there's like a bar, or what are we looking at right now?
Looking about, you see a large kind of square-shaped bar that the innkeeper is behind, and probably 12 to 14 different tables kind of strewn throughout. It looks, of which probably 2 of those tables are occupied at this point. And you think that at one point this inn was a little bit more hopping, but at least in the middle of winter, it is fairly low key right now.
Okay.
Are all of
Yes.
the patrons at this point at the tables, or a couple sitting around the fireplace, or what's the distribution here?
The 2 tables that have patrons at them are closer to towards the fireplace.
Are there any bottles of alcohol on the bar?
On the bar top between you and the innkeeper. No bottles of alcohol there.
Anyway, so we'll head over to a table close to the fire, but not interfering with anybody.
You're gonna have to, if you wanna, if you all want to sit at the same table, you're gonna have to crowd around one table or pull 2 tables together.
I'd say we'll just pull 2 tables together.
Quixotic prestidigitates his clothes dry
Yeah, I
and then
was
goes
gonna
and just
say.
stands by the fire for a little bit.
I'm like,
could do that
I'm
for
like
everybody,
toe to
no?
waist in mud, right? Gloves
he does.
do everything.
Uh,
I'll probably head up to the room to take care of all my dirtiness.
I'll start hitting people if they want to stay down here with prestidigitation.
Please, will you
It-
please
it's-
dry my clothes out?
It's
Same
one
here.
one to dry off the clothes and one to clean them usually.
That gold or
If you dry me out,
Yeah.
I can take care of the rest.
All right. Yeah. So I'll start hitting people with the pup.
should we
Okay.
go check out the rooms and make sure their windows are barred and all that sort of thing?
Here, I'll give the keys out to Aaron because he's gonna go up
I'll
and.
take one, and that's all I'm taking.
I'll take the other one. I'll take the other two.
All right, I'll give them on to the other two then.
I
I'll
will.
go up and take a look.
I will attempt to, or I'll ask Tehran, is it all right if I room with you guys again, or would you prefer separate lodgings?
Fine by me.
Fine by me. I'm gonna head up to my room and prestidigitate till I'm clean, and consider coming down. But I'm pissed.
He's just up there prestidigitating for like 3 hours.
Anything more than 1 hour is playing with yourself, buddy.
Stop, you go blind.
You said that from the bathroom.
Keelan, what do I'm gonna make a perception check when I come up to the door of the first room. Does anything look suspicious? Let me roll that.
Make me a perception check.
Just because like they may have sent something ahead, so let's just.
If anyone makes to go to leave or enter, I will make insight checks on them first, just to see if they've recognized or are doing anything weird, and then I'll start going around the bar later.
Monty, as you look at the first door that you guys have a room key for, I mean, like, it doesn't look like you notice anything off about it.
Okay, I'll go in and check the room too, just
You
to
touch
make
it.
sure.
Are you touching it with your hand?
I'm touching the door with my. Oh, I'm touching the keyhole with my hand.
Ooh, touch the hole with your fingers.
Sliding that. Never mind. We're not gonna do that. All right. You
Oh,
didn't
aren't
see,
we
I'm fulfilling one of the bardic tropes, right?
Just
In a
lick them
different way.
first, at least.
It's right. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So I'll unlock the door.
So
I'll
as you
touch
stick
it
the
with my
key into the
hand.
slot to unlock the door, you hear a click with your 24 perception. You hear the tumblers of the lock turning over, and as you open the door, the other side is just a nice looking room.
The hinges make a gentle moan.
Oh, yeah. That's what the door said.
Monty
Um,
says, I still got it.
Got it. This Bart's got it. That's right. So I'll go in and I'm gonna just make sure the
You're
door
missing
is locked. Is the window locked? Is there a window? I guess.
There is no window in this room.
All right. Well, that makes it easy. Is there's no fireplace or anything, right?
No, it is a pretty sparse room.
Okay. Onto door number 2. I relock that door.
All right. Taking out the second key, you stick it in the door. You hear the locks, the tumblers of the lock rolling over. As the key turns, you open the door as you touch it with your hands. You hear a slight moan again. And as the door opens, that sweet release of the hinges moving. You look on the other side of the door, and it's another nice room.
All right. No windows in this one either.
This one has a small window looking out. It doesn't look like it opens up, from what you can see.
All right. Yeah. So I'll just I'll lock it back up, go back downstairs. I'll, I guess, make sure Tehran nothing happens. I'll make sure he makes it into his room. Okay.
Oh, while you were fucking about with the first door, I would have just literally just opened the door and walked in with zero consideration.
All right. Well, he didn't call for help. Then I'll just go downstairs.
There you go.
All right. So, Kozatek, what were you doing downstairs? Did you were looking at people?
I'm gonna start kind of perusing the room for people, see if anyone looks shady, surprised to see us. You know, shifts their behavior. Just general insight checks, make sure that we're not going to get fucking ambushed again by another group of people.
Okay. Make me an insight check.
I'm gonna do that. That'll do.
Yeah, with a 21, looking about. The people that you see sitting at tables, and like it's kind of what looks like a local stonecutter, kind of sitting at a table by himself, kind of nursing a drink. He doesn't look like he has left this town in decades, if not centuries. Basically, looking at the calluses on his hands, this man works the stone, and that's his job. That's all he does. That and coming to the stonecutter Stollis. The other table that you see of patrons here at the inn, you see a table that has 3 dwarves sitting at it. They don't have that same kind of look in their eyes, the calluses on their hands of the man that you assume is a stonecutter. But they have a little bit of an air of arrogance about them. Kind of the drinks seem to be flowing a little bit heavier. You think that this group of dwarves is probably a group of sailors of some sort. Group of seamen, if you will.
Sure. A smattering of seamen, I've heard.
Splattering of what?
Smattering, right?
Oh.
Smattering.
It's a small group.
Is that a smegma of
I think for seamen they
I
call it.
I think that's further
stain,
south.
what
It's a
called.
smegma. It depends on
Yeah,
the
smegma.
region.
This is the content I signed up for.
And all of our loyal fans pay for.
Don't forget to
Loyal
smash that
Yeah.
like and subscribe button. Ring that bell.
It's
You'll
absolutely
get
destroy
all
that
this and
like button.
more.
So you don't miss one episode of Smegma.
Magma
semen.
down south.
As the Smagnus matters.
Well, I'm going to.
Now, are they? Sorry. Go
I'm
on.
gonna get a mug of strong ale and warm myself by the fire.
Okay.
I'll join her.
You go up to the innkeeper and he hands you a mug of white draconic ale.
You have any whiskey?
Why it gotta be white?
You got any scotch?
No, I'm asking whiskey this time.
I know. I'm just teasing.
He looks to you.
That's
He's
not a
like,
season.
we have the Milky Way whiskey. It's our special drink right now.
I'll take one.
All right. You see him kind of pour you this light blue drink. As it kind of comes out, it is not the whiskey color that you are accustomed to.
Looks interesting, but
with, with Baja Blast.
yeah.
Damn it.
You take a sip, and it tastes
Damn.
very watered down, like very watered down sweetened milk with a lot of alcohol.
Oh, it's Mutter's milk. Gotcha. Okay.
Shiny.
We are getting closer to the north. I do remember hearing somewhere that they make very good mead there. Yes, right? Is there any mead around here?
He's like, "Are you talking about the mead from Good Mead up in 10 Towns?"
I've just heard that there's good mead the further north you go. Is that something that you would have on hand?
We haven't gotten any shipments from Good Mead in a long time. Not since Ariel has had her way with 10 towns up there, but we have some mediocre mead if that's what you're looking for.
That's give me the ocherist of meads.
The okayest.
Demon
meat.
everywhere.
The ocherist.
Pulls out a unlabeled, nondescript bottle of golden-looking colored liquid and pours it into a chalice-looking cup for you.
Does it perhaps look like this one?
Similar to that.
It's wood.
And he's like, "Here you go."
That is, I appreciate the sentiment. How much do I owe you?
He's like, for the 3 drinks, 3 silver.
That's, I will give you 4 for the companionship. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
So we'll all head over to the fireplace.
That's what I appreciate about you.
That's what I liked about you, Miss Katie.
Is that
So
what
we're
you
all-
appreciate about me?
We're all sitting down by the fireplace.
So there's two went up to check the rooms, right?
Yes.
So
I'm back
we've
down.
got a turtle man.
And
Okay,
I'm
so
climbing.
6 people. There's no way we're gonna fit 6 people around what I'm assuming is either a square or round small table, correct?
Nope.
That's why we got 2 tables, Robert.
Is pull 2
Okay.
tables together.
Okay, and there's enough room for the people that are already drinking there and us to pull tables around the fireplace. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more than enough room around. It's a big fireplace in this place. In the inn.
I'm imagining a fire pit more than a fireplace at this point, and I'm fine with that idea. So,
Whatever.
I'll
it
let
is.
you run with that.
like, I'm imagining Skyrim fire pit in. at
Oh,
this-
where it's just like in the middle of the fucking house.
yeah.
Anyway, all right. So either way, there's a fire, and it makes does me good to be a little warmer.
So I'll sit down and kind of look at everybody and just put my head down, kind of thinking that's my fault.
Oh, well, I bet we could at least find. Did you pick up a drink?
I got my whiskey.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You got your mother's milk.
What is?
Whiskey TM.
Hey, it works.
All right.
Ooh, that is
All right.
good.
What are you guys doing around the fire? Hey, it's just chit chatting.
Like I said, I'm
will-
just kind of
Yeah.
have my head down and I'm being quiet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of got a read on the people there. The sailors, do they look chatty or are they kind of keeping to themselves?
They're being jovial amongst themselves. You hear them kind of bust out into song every once in a while as they're putting their drinks back.
I'll kind of lean over to Davpost and say, so do you think maybe if we plied them with drink, we could get a little bit more of an idea of what support is like here?
More than likely, but there's the risk of finding out or them finding out information on us at this point as well. That's why
That's true.
I don't know what to do. Everything that I've done has been everybody here, so I'm just not.
Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. He kind of pauses for a
set you-
moment.
I set you guys on fire.
Well, only a little bit.
We got better.
Yes, we
got
recovered.
better.
It's fine.
And I'm probably the reason why these people know that we're here.
I mean,
get up. I
they
get up
found
and I get up and tap Davpost, or not Davpost, but Exotic. I'm like, let's go sit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. Sure.
Let's talk more.
I will.
actually.
I will signal to the bartender and order a round for the table that before we go over there.
You order a round of. You see him kind of pull from the cask a round of white draconic ales.
I'll keep the drink I have, but I will order more for the table for them.
As he brings them over, I'm assuming at this point you guys get up and head over to their table.
Yeah,
I
I'll
go-
go with. Yep.
I go, you mind? You sit here.
And he's like, you see the dwarf kind of gesture. Oh, well, you're sitting here now, I guess.
That's a correct answer, sir.
Well, what brings you fine gentlemen to Port the Last here?
We just need to rest our bones a little bit, get a little warm from out of the rain. How about yourselves?
He's like, well, you sure have picked a fine night to come to the Stonecutter Solace.
Mm-hmm.
We're celebrating another fine trip up the coast, and are just about ready to head out tomorrow, back down south with a boat full of stone.
Trip up the coast, you said?
Down the coast, but yeah.
Down the coast. Okay. Good. How many trips do you make down the coast?
Well, and you see him kind of think and slur, and he's like, we're pretty consistently go up and down the coast. It's a couple 10 days up, a couple 10 days back.
Do you ever go north instead of south, or is it always south?
Well, you gotta go south.
I mean, are you talking up to like Luskin, or are you talking about like past Luskin?
Oh, up to Luskin. I've heard everything's shit past Luskin, yeah?
Past Luskin, there's not much up there. Yeah, 10 towns, but that trade is mostly taken up by Luskin. We tend not to go up towards Luskin. There's not a lot of people up there that are buying stone from here, from Port the Last.
Do they ship anything up to Luskin from here, or is it always down?
From here? Not
Yeah,
much.
from here.
Most of the people, Luskin gets most of their stone from up the river from them, up in the mountains.
That makes sense. I'm afraid that the superior stone from here does not beat out whatever they find up there.
You see him raise this. It's like, I'll drink to that.
That sounds like a plan.
Kind of lean into Kickstarter. This seems, or not Kickstarter. Yeah, Kickstarter. This seems like a dead end. We can have a couple of drinks. Then, but
Yeah, that sounds fine. I mean, it's just good to talk to the locals.
Mhm.
And then, so that was, I'm sure, what a set was at
Well,
a
we sit and
couple-
have a couple of drinks and
yeah.
just have chit chat and
Yeah.
how long they've been there, what's going on in the town.
Kind of as you're making conversation with them, like they've been in port for probably 3 days or so, waiting for their ship to kind of get loaded with the stone from the port. They mentioned that it's slow in the port right now, just being the time of the year that it is, and not a lot of. They seem proud, boisterous, almost in the fact that they're one of the few ships that kind of make the travel this far north in the Sea of Swords this late in the year. The storms are bigger, as you guys noticed the last day or so, and most ships tend to try and avoid this ruckus per se.
I will have been like listening near the fire, and I'll kind of sidle up to Kohi and I'll say, I don't know if we're going to find better options. This might be it if we kind of go with Turon's plan here. And once we get out with them, convince them to go north instead of south. Their stone won't spoil.
I'll or direct conversation other way so that they're not listening into whatever's happening there.
Make me a deception check.
I will do that. Can I get advantage because they're shit-faced?
I'll give you advantage as you bought them a round of drinks. Or a couple of rounds of drinks.
Yeah, I'll try and play it off as I took a bad sip or something.
I'll come over and pat your back boisterously too.
Oh, I might not have needed it.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of.
Yeah, you think that they were paying attention to you and not to Cody
Okay.
and Alice.
Yeah, I make it look like I had a bad drink. Oh, it's been so long since I've had this. It's just out of practice.
He looks to you and he's like, "It's mead sneaking up on you there."
Yeah, it's I've got a bit of a drinking problem. It doesn't go in the mouth sometimes after I've had too much.
Cheers you to that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I lean into the table here. Go, you know what, boys? I really hate to put you in a bind like this, but with the terrible weather we've been having, and we just need one way to get to Luskin. And I think you guys are the best way up there. What say you to that?
You see kind of like the two of the dwarves kind of look at one of them who's been kind of doing a lot of the talking, and they look a little bit they pause for a second, and you hear one of them say, "I don't know, Dolman, what do you think?" And the dwarf kind of looks back to you. He's like, Luskin it's quite the port to try and get into. Our contacts, our relationship with the high captains are not as great as they should be to try and make port in Luskin. But for the right price, we can try and figure something out.
I mean, it's not only the price. At this point, it's the glory. If you're coming this far north in the winter and you're going further, that's just bold maneuvering, from what I've heard.
Or
From some
stupidity.
local-
Or stupidity if you're trying to get into Luskin's port without their knowledge and prior
no, not-
authorization.
No, this is all on the level. Come on, we're not that kind of people.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say prior authorization? Do they not let ships in if you don't have some sort of paperwork, or?
Into Luskin, if you're not part of the five captains, that's a hard port to get into. They control all the ships that kind of come in and out of that area. That's why we tend not to go up that direction very often.
So what's the price?
It's like, what's
What are we talking about here in terms? Let's talk ballpark.
what's how much you got here?
I put a small pouch of 10 gold on the table.
I want to make a perception check to see if anybody else is paying attention to us.
I'm gonna make an insight check to see if they're A, taking us seriously, or B, if they're considering other options here.
All right. We'll start off with Monty. Make me a perception check.
That was almost a 1.
Okay. Looking around, bartender and doesn't seem to really care what's going on around. Nobody else really seems to be paying attention to you. All right, Kosatic, you said you wanted to roll a insight check.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that they're A, taking us seriously, and B, they're not considering another option instead of what we're proposing.
Okay.
I cannot roll below an 8, so it's a 16.
With a 16, looking at them and kind of like their demeanor after a number of drinks that they've been having, their celebratory mood, they seem to be a little bit more, I don't want to say sullen, but cautious now. Making deals over drinks this deep in has them a little bit off balance a little bit. And Kohi, he doesn't even seem to recognize the fact that there is any gold on the table at this point.
Doesn't even flinch.
It's like, well, I mean, like, if you guys are really looking for a ride up to Luskin, we could probably Let me know what you guys are thinking.
So it's good to know.
And with that, he kind of looks to the barkeep and kind of makes another round signal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't mean to put a damper on the night, boys. Let's just have one more and then we can retire. Just trying to gloss over the uncomfortableness of changing the subject.
It's like, I'm already one step ahead of you. And the barkeep brings over a tray of white what is it? White Dragon ale for everybody. White Draconic ale for everybody.
Okay.
At this point, he's brought over a number of platters of shanks of what you assume is venison that you guys had ordered previously.
Sure.
Ooh, yum.
So it's got a delicious looking kind of smoky barbecue sauce slathered over the shanks.
That sounds delightful. All right. Then I guess we eat and we proceed back to our. Well, actually, no. We'll proceed back to our table and then we'll eat. We'll leave you two to your dinner and see what we can eat going.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the great conversation, boy.
Yes,
Have a
thank
great
you.
night.
It's been informative.
All right. He looks to you and he says, "Cheers, cheers to safe travels, I guess."
Mm-hmm.
Safe travels. Enjoy your trip home.
With that, they kind of go back to singing their sailor songs and enjoying the company of each other.
We'll get back to the table and say, it may have tipped our hand a little bit, but it's good to know that we need a certified boat to get up to Luskin that way.
Well, boat travel is required for that. Like, boat. I know it's a long ways and a long hike, but the more direct way.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
bigger hurdle to take a boat.
Well, that depends. If we're taking a boat that is licensed, which there might be one, I mean, it's just a little more difficult. Otherwise, if we pay them enough, we can get them to drop us off wherever the fuck we want. It's just we'd have to pay more.
Yeah, they didn't sneeze at the 10 gold.
No, they're not. But yeah, I mean, if we can find a boat that's on the way up there legally, that wouldn't be bad. But yeah, I expect it's going to be a bit of a hurdle.
You hear that, Alice?
Yeah. What are our options at this point? Should we wait until the morning and check out the harbor?
That might be best. I think I'm sure Tehran's not going to be pleased, but I don't think has he ever been pleased? Is that the thing that happens to him?
Not
I look at Alice.
It was
Not
a
in here.
Tuesday. Angels cried.
It's always
Right.
lukewarm at most.
He's got two speeds: apathy and rage.
That sounds about right. Okay.
Melancholy. What about that one?
Wait, hey, are you talking about
Colin.
Tehran or Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a difference?
Well, I think I'm going to turn in at this point. Finished my ale. My bones are warm. My leather is a little dry. Well, prestidigitated dry and shaking the dirt off.
I go, hold on. I'm gonna do this ritually. Oh, I don't want to do it at advantage, but I kind of lay this out to us. Now we have 2 tracks to go. Are the dwarves the way to go, or is this not the right path to go?
You're asking about the dwarves, or you're asking about land versus sea?
Dwarves.
Okay.
Dwarves versus not dwarves? Still the
Dwarves
sea
or
route?
dwarves or figure something else out.
Okay, dwarves or something else.
As you as you call your augury, you get this. As you mentioned the dwarves, you get the fire, the heat from the fire kind of expands out. That it feels a little bit warmer, and kind of as you mentioned the road, it's still. It's a little bit less. The fire kind of recedes a little bit, but it's not cold. You don't feel any cold drafts or anything. As far as you can tell, from that. So.
Okay, so would that be?
So the
So you're
dwarves are
asking
gonna
specifically about
kidnap
the
us and
dwarves.
take
So would
us
that be
south.
wheel and woe, or would that be wheel for good result?
Most likely a wheel for good result is you kind of feel a gentle warming of the fire as you ask about this.
So that's the better of the two routes we have in front of us right now.
Okay. Now, can we discern what you just did? Like, can anybody read that as a good sign, or do you have to interpret that for us?
Reading through augury real quick, it's a specific course of action that you plan to take in the next 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay.
So.
Okay. Then scrap it then, I suppose.
Well, do we
You
plan
don't
to
have to.
pay
You could-
them in 30 minutes?
I was
Take
gonna
the
say, you could
information we
count
were
that
given
as should we ask them, you know,
We
if we
pursue
want, if,
talking to them more and pursue them.
yeah. So you could maybe still swing that.
It's up to you. It's up to you, DM.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're asking if you should continue to kind of pursue this in the next 30 minutes or so, you get a gentle warming from the fire. That you feel that it may be beneficial for you to continue to pursue this.
We should go get Tehran if we're going to be making this decision, because otherwise it's going to come back and bite us in the ass later. I can almost guarantee it.
Bad reputation.
Decision is what it is. I left to go to my room.
Yeah, but you didn't say you were going to bed.
It's true.
Yeah, why don't you
Oh.
go get him? Figure out this is the best way to go about it.
I
I'll
will.
go- oh,
Yeah, maybe you should.
yeah, I'll go collect him, and so I'll go up to the room and peek in the door and. Hey,
Door's locked.
okay, knock, knock,
Yes.
motherfucker. Maybe. We've got a possible lead on some transport. Do you want to come down and check it out? Some dwarves are setting sail tomorrow, and they plan to head south, but
As you're like saying all that through the door, you like hear me like rustling and kind of walk up to the door and open it up and let you in. No. What I've been doing since everyone's been downstairs is I've taken off all of my armor,
are you naked?
shoulder to waist. My boots are off. And I've
As naked as he gets, y'all.
yeah. I'll be there in a white tunic. My everything is on the bed and I've been cleaning it. And I just sit down on a stool facing the bed where all my armor is, and I've been like meticulously like cleaning it after all the mud that's been on it. And just kind of listen to what you're saying and continue what I was doing.
So, are you coming?
I guess I don't know. What did you tell them?
I didn't tell him anything.
I was using the royal.
Look at you distance yourself.
You know what hue I'm using.
Well,
If they told them more than I had suggested earlier, it's too late at that point. And
but we might not have another option.
that's the thing. Wherever we are now is where we are. And if we have a good ride, it's a good ride.
I think it might be the best ride, or the only ride.
And like you notice, like I even have like my gloves off. and I'm cleaning everything. And
Okay.
I'm just sitting there, and I.
So
look
you
and
have your face mask on and your curlers, and you're done for
Yeah.
the night. Okay.
He's cut up the cubes to put on his ear.
All right. If you have no major objections,
No, but you can tell like I am exhausted. And I don't know, like wary is a good word for it, I suppose.
yeah. Like I wish they didn't have the inkling that we were gonna be heading north instead, but hopefully we can turn it around.
I'm tired.
Okay. I'll piss off. Why don't I go fuck myself?
Yeah, fuck me then.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't mean to give you that impression, but it is what it is at this point. I'm uninvolved. I came upstairs, and that's the role I chose for this, whatever it is that you're doing downstairs, so I can't complain about what you're doing.
I'll remember that for tomorrow.
As you complain about what happens.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I will wish Turan a good night, and I will head back down to tell my compatriots. We have
Figure it out for
been-
yourselves.
Yeah, we've been entrusted to handle the decision on our own. Can you believe it?
You get back down and you tell them that, and everybody's just like mouths just drop.
Excited
Are you
because I feel
sure?
like we're in trouble already, and I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Everybody's
gonna-
kind of
we're
looking.
gonna
Everybody's
pay
looking
for
over
it.
their
Is he
shoulder.
deathly ill? Do we need a doctor? Do we need an exorcist?
I'm not healing him.
He hasn't died yet. He's not that bad off.
All right. Okay, so you're totally forgot what god you have now. The gods have told us that that this is not a terrible course of action, basically. Right.
Yep.
Okay. So somebody who's a bit better at convincing people than I am should convince people better than I am.
What are we trying to convince people to do?
That we
Or
have to
not do.
convince them to change course if we're going to go north, or we have to wait until we get on the boat and convince them to change course, which was
Well-
Tehran's suggestion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think kind of where we landed, I guess I kind of came in that conversation halfway through, but wasn't it? I guess, well, Kohi, we're off in the corner talking, right? We chatting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
about this.
at our own
So,
table.
What's the details on the whole thing so far?
They're from what we can tell, they're the only game in town. So, and
And
they,
the dragon bones are the tarot cards are favorable.
yeah, this is telling me that this is probably the best course of action to go to. And we have to, they seemed dead set in going south. So they had to, I understand that the plan was to Shanghai, but I was looking to just be on the level with them because they were having a good time, and I don't think that was.
Do we
the
know if
best
they're
course.
staying here? Can we keep an eye on them? Right, because I feel like that might
I
be good.
mean,
But I mean, do we have anything left? Do we just want to? Where do we leave the transaction at?
we didn't leave it. They said they weren't interested, and we left
Hmm.
that. If we want to try and convince them otherwise, someone's going to have to actually convince them.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably see him in the
did-
morning.
Do we want to in the morning? Or do we want to do it now?
Well,
Augury
his thing
favored
said in
now.
the next 30 minutes it would be good, right? That's like how the spell works.
Yep.
So
Does it? I don't know.
I don't
Anyways,
That's
know.
what it
but-
said. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. What do we want to convince them to do though?
we
Right.
have to convince them to take us north.
They have to
What we-
smuggle
Well, we
us
got to
north.
convince them to take us.
So the
That's
other
his point.
caveat to this plan is there's only there's a white list of captains that can go into Luskan, and they ain't on the list.
No,
Hey, lists could be bribed onto though.
the
Papers could be forged.
Did
I will-
anybody do that in this group? I don't think we do.
Give it a
think I
call
have
to
forgery.
try.
Yeah. What I
We
will
got
say,
money. Apparently, bribing is always an option.
if
Keelan,
we,
can I pull out my map?
The other thing we could do is buy their stone
Yeah.
and send it north.
Also true. Or any, yeah. Yeah,
I see two options. We just try to book passage on their ship and, you know, or we try to convince them to go north and figure that out right now.
They want to get paid. Is what they said in no.
Well, we
Uncertain
can put
terms.
money down, right?
Yeah.
We
If
can only
10 gold
guarantee
was no good,
passage.
what about 10 gold each?
well, okay, so
You guys
here's
may
the
be
other thing.
underestimating what it
Guys,
costs to sail a ship.
Guys,
Yes, what you got, Defos?
what about going further north? Skipping
No, they
Luskin
said
altogether.
I'm pretty sure that's been a hard no from the beginning.
I mean, we can ask them. We're talking about what we want to do right now.
That's true.
It's all on the table.
Well, the question is,
Because looking at
Go
my
on.
map, there's a place called Fireshare. It's before the Sea of Moving Ice.
hang on, is there, I don't
Well, if
have
they don't
that
even
map.
want to go to Luskin, going farther north is not going to make it.
Well,
they
I think
said this-
Luskin's more about they're not in the inner circle. They're not a part of the trade group there.
They also said the northern seas are a little bit rougher this time of year. So
And
I'll,
yeah,
I'll call them Dwarven pussies, and we'll see where that goes.
yeah.
oh, you're going to get punched in the mouth, and I'm going to be there for it.
Well, if they got enough gold, maybe we'll convince them to go on a daring adventure.
How much money do you want to spend on this adventure? I mean, we just made this money. This is the
I-
most
I
money
look
I've
at- I
ever
look at
had in my
Alice.
life.
But I look at Alice like, how dire do we need to leave Pronto?
You need to go.
Oh no, we need to get going. That's not not an argument.
Well, then let's just try to go back to kind of sort of the original thing and just get passage from these guys. They're drunk as fuck. They're not gonna really remember if we said Luskin or what's another L sounding town that's south.
How?
Luskin?
Lolder's Deep, maybe.
Lalders.
Landlekeep, maybe. Yeah. I
my
mean,
other
we
suggestion would
can
be
do that and sort this out on this high seas.
how close could they take us? I mean, realistically, if we rent a rowboat from them, we could just fucking row to shore, you know, close to Luskin, and then walk it in, and then they don't even have to talk to the fucking harbor master.
Smugglers? Isn't that
Top
kind of
post
like
as you pull out your
smuggler
map
thing?
and looking at it, and yeah, you see Fire Shear kind of the next town on your map, located kind of along the coast of the sea, the water, up past Luskin.
Yeah. Like that could be an option because that's where the route to 10 towns comes from, is this road. So if they can just get us there, that could cut out a major problem.
So that
And
would
introduce
completely
a-
bypass.
Challenge of getting provisions, but
Well, I don't know. How big is Fire Shear?
Not that big.
Let's see. Give me Monty and Nicola. Give me a history check.
History check. Okay.
are we doing this independently or are we doing this like a
Independently.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay. I mean, kind of as you guys both kind of having been up in this area, you guys know that Fire Shear, and kind of as you guys have your experience in Port Last so far, Fire Shear seems to be a little bit larger. It used to be much larger, but kind of in recent years has kind of not nearly as large as it once was. But it used to be a very bustling, essentially town of miners exporting silver and copper.
Where are all the
But
adults?
where did all the parents go? Yeah. Damn it.
Ha.
So
Well, good thing that we have our winter gear and our magic items already.
We're still going to need the food, though. That's going to be the big deal.
They're bigger than Port Last, and we should be able to source something.
They'll have food.
If we really are determined enough, we can trek back to Luskin.
Can we? How far? You said it's not far.
Yeah, I don't know where it is on the map.
Well, I mean, if we were gonna
It's,
trek to 10 towns, you know, that's far. Luskin to 10 towns is farther than Fireshare to Luskin.
it's
Anyways,
actually Fireshare to
work
10
that out
towns will take us half as much distance, but probably twice as much time.
The further north you go, the worse the weather
Because
is.
the-
It's
oh,
faster
okay.
there.
Dapos,
Well,
as you're
what-
looking at your map, you think that it's probably about 150 miles or so from where you are from Port Last up to Fireshare.
It gets a trip, but if they're willing to do it, it wouldn't be a bad idea just to skip Luskin and avoid a large town.
I look at Alice. I mean, you think that'd help? And then I guess the rest of the group, like, you want to do this, or do we just want to still be more cautious with what we say and just try to get passage at this point?
So the way Tehran was
Not be
explaining
straight
it
with
is the further away from Neverwinter we get, the better it's going to be, and the harder it is to find us. So at least that's what he's kind of seemed to imply. So it's not bad. The question is, well, where's Nicola? Did Nicola go to bed? Like,
Oh, he's
he's
here
here.
with us.
He's
Yeah,
hearing this
I'm-
plan. How is he feeling about going to Fireshare?
I mean, so out of game killing, you said Fireshare is still below the ice belt.
Yeah, and here, let me.
Because you're the main reason we haven't sailed further north.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the map here, here is where you guys are right now in Port Last. Here's Luskin, and the trail up to 10 towns from Luskin. It kind of goes along and then kind of goes up to 10 towns.
So we have to go
So-
through Fireshare anyway, basically.
There's roads
Ish.
to Fireshare. There's also roads that kind of go around Fireshare and up to 10 towns. So
There's a deviation literally just between Fireshare and the red dot to the north. That's where the trail leads towards Luskin.
I mean, did you put like your map out on the table and you're like, hey, here's the deal?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I look at that and go, well, if that's the case, we may as well fucking go to Fireshare, right? We have supplies.
I don't think Tehran wants to skip Luskin.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
How about we just get ourselves on the boat and figure it out from there?
How
Just
positive
the
are you
Luskin
sure
then.
he doesn't want to skip Luskin? I kind of turn.
I wouldn't want to be the one to tell him tomorrow that we're going to Fireshare.
This is comical watching you guys like sit side by side and have that dialogue. This is hilarious.
Is there something he needs there?
I
I'm assuming.
if I knew, this would be easier. He didn't want to come down. This is my hunch.
In that case, why don't we just go buy a cart with our cash and take the 2 horses that we have and just ride to Luskin?
It's how many miles to Luskin, right?
about 90 miles to Luskin.
Okay, so it's a couple of days.
No,
We
I
have
think
about
we need.
3.5 days of travel.
I think we should get on this boat, and I think we can convince them to go north.
Let's just get on the boat. Let me go spin something a little bit about us needing to just get passage kind of out of here. You know, right? We gotta you know, one of my our friends that was over here trying to get passage is running away from a bad situation.
Use me because I've been so quiet.
Wait, I'm sorry.
We don't want to give up that.
Yeah, we don't
information.
want that's
No,
not
not
information.
I'm-
not that bad situation. Not like we're running away from some like family problems.
Since there was a lady involved.
Like
Davos is escaping an abusive relationship.
kind of something like that, right?
He
Yeah.
fell down some stairs twice in a
we're
row.
all trying to get
the
him. We're
same
all trying to
night.
get him resettled, and like he just needs to get out of town. Doesn't really care what he thinks he'd be safer north, but he's fine going south. Blah blah blah, yada yada. We just want to book passage on the boat. right? You guys are heading out of here. We want to get out of here.
Yeah, we want to go north and see if we can get that going.
I mean, like, do we gotta commit them to go north in this discussion, or can we just get on the boat?
I mean, yeah, but if they don't decide to change route later, either we become pirates out of the blue, or we end up down in fucking, wherever the hell they were going.
What would be more fun?
I mean,
And take chances.
if but if we become pirates, then we have to
mistakes.
throw all the fucking stone overboard to make it lighter, or we have to find a way to turn it into catapults on the fly.
I don't know.
Or we just
Nicola can sail, so
I can.
make that
That's
shit work.
true. Arr.
I'm sure we could coerce it. Anyways, I mean, we gotta. Well, I mean, we can chat this out a little longer, I suppose. But what's everybody thinking?
I don't know. If we didn't have somebody that desperately wanted to apparently go to Luskin, I would say we just fucking skip it, and that solves all our problems.
I mean, we can always fall on that as a last resort. Because, like I said, if we need to go to Luskin, so we take the boat to Fireshear, we go the 70 miles to Luskin, and then we go to Pentowns if it's worth it. I mean, it's not ideal,
Yeah.
but it would have still been quicker than driving a cart to Luskin.
I'll stand by my statement. Worst case scenario, can we not just have them drop us off, send them to Fireshear, can give them a little bit extra money for their troubles, and have them like give us a couple of rowboats, and we just row the fuck out to shore and walk into Luskin. And then we I guess we have to buy carts, but I don't know.
I don't know about that plan, my friend.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't want to row a boat in the ocean.
I'm not saying from 10 miles out. I'm just saying like
well, I mean,
we
then you
anchor
kinda run
offshore and row in.
You kind of run afoul of them looking like smugglers, right? And I mean, because that's what smugglers do: is they park in coves, they offload stuff so they don't have to pay the taxes through the port.
But we're people. You shouldn't be taxing people.
Yeah,
you're
officer,
literally trying to
that's
smuggle
not my
yourselves
weed.
into Luskin.
Those not my
We're
people.
going in through the gates.
Yeah, but to port into Luskin, you got to be part of the guild, and I'm sure they get cut of the passage fares.
I think I'm gonna take my mug of ale and I'm going to Princess Leia it, and I will say, "Help me, dwarf captain. You're my only hope." And I will try to persuade them to let us make it worth their while to take us to Luskin. What do we have to do to buy our way onto the list? How can we make it worth the risk? It's important to us.
You see Dullman kind of. He's been watching you guys after you guys had left previously, and you see him kind of as you come back over to his table, and you see him ponder, asking, and he says, "It's a large risk for us to take our boats up into Luskin, especially without authorization from Kurth himself, but but buying your way into the logs in Luskin usually runs you about 150 or to 200 gold, depending on what quartermaster you get when you get into port."
Can everyone hear that conversation as she says that, or are we still arguing?
He says it to her relatively quietly.
Okay.
He says, "That's just the first part. The second part is that's just buying your passage to park there, and then it's trying to get you off the docks and not getting your stuff stolen from you once you're in port."
Can I offer you 500 gold to bring my party to Luskin and get us into the port?
He says, for 500 gold, I think we would probably make that happen.
You'd be doing me a favor. Thank you, my friend.
That's the.
We ship out just after first light tomorrow morning. Can you
We'll be
guys
ready.
make it down there?
We'll be ready.
What time is it now? Because we're gonna need a nap like right quick.
Nicola knows that it's probably an hour past sunset at this point.
Oh, okay. Then it's bedtime.
It's sleepy time.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I will raise a toast to him and his crewmates, and I will quietly reiterate that we will meet them at the port after first light.
and he tips his drink to you and he's like, "This one's on me."
You made a friend. Da-na-na-na.
Not safe to go alone. Take this.
This is
Alright.
beer.
Yay!
And you see him down the last of his white draconic ale. Kind of wipe it off, and he's like, "Cheers to you, madame."
All right. I'll drink and then I'll head up to bed.
The rest of us show this table. No, I don't think it's. Maybe if we just.
Oh shit.
All of a sudden
Okay,
it's
I
like,
better
oh,
tell
fuck.
him. Oh shit. So I drink and then I like come and I like, we're good guys. Let's go. We need a nap or we need to rest and we have to be to the port at first light.
There's a pause for a second. You're the lady. There's a plan. So that's what we needed. All right. Yeah, I'll follow you up then. I will actually leave the what I have, whatever's left in the glass. I will leave it. I will not down it
All right.
like a pussy.
All right. You guys head up to your rooms. Alice, you find that your room is locked again.
God damn it, Turon. I will knock and it'll be like an obnoxiously long wait before he comes and unlocks the door. And like even then, it's like the chain is there when he opens it and he's like, "Who is it? What do you want?" And then he'll finally let us in.
All right. He lets you in. Is there anybody else staying in your guys' room with you guys tonight? Or
I was gonna stay with them.
okay. All right. And who's staying in the other two rooms?
Did he take one with a window or not? I forget. Because there
There's
was one
with
without,
a-
and
yeah,
there
there's
was
one without. And
He
there's
took the one
with.
without
I don't know what their room looks
a
like.
window.
okay.
Okay. So I'm assuming the rest of you guys take the other two rooms and yeah.
Pretty sure it's always been Monty and Kohi and myself and Nicola, right?
Okay. Sounds good. So Monty and Kohi take the second room, and Nicola and Dafos take the third room. And you guys kind of bunker down for the night. You guys lock the doors, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and we'll put a watch
Mhm.
in the room.
Okay. Is the watch doing anything, or is it just ticking?
It's just it chimes every hour. On
Okay.
Oh, God.
actually 5 past the hour. 'Cause it's a
Okay.
little slow.
A little bit slow.
A little slow.
All right. So Monty, you and Kohi, one of you guys is taking a watch in your room.
You're cool with that, right, Cody?
Looks like I have to.
I'm full health and full spell slots, so if I don't get a full rest anyways, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I need it. I need to fill up my spell slots. Excuse me.
I'll take first watch. Nicola can get his full rest in.
Okay.
I'm gonna sleep first in our room because I'm fucking exhausted. I've been up for probably 20 hours now.
I can
'Cause
take the
we
first watch.
Okay, and then I'll do what I have been doing and stay up after that. But
Thrawn like passed the fuck out. And he's like
I
dead.
Yeah,
I
he's got his
trans-
face mask on.
He's got cucumbers.
Yeah.
His towel robe on, little slippers.
Uh-huh.
does he lay on the floor like a vampire, just like
Builds himself like a pillow coffin.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hey, everybody who's taking the first watch to make a perception check.
I'll get it, Cody.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Killing
First
it.
watch
Yeah.
comes, and you guys, Monty and Alice, the night kind of passes, and you guys don't hear. You guys hear the group of dwarves kind of heading up to their room a little while later and whatnot. But you don't notice anything else kind of out of the ordinary. Davos, 24, kind of sitting quietly in your room as the time passes, kind of as what you think. It's been a few hours since you've been in your room. You hear the sound of horses kind of clopping outside. And as you do, you hear people coming into the inn downstairs, as to what you can only assume, or knocking on the door downstairs, as to what you can only assume is the middle of the night travelers arriving in Port Last. That's what you hear, kind of as your watch kind of comes towards an end.
All
So-
right. Do I hear anything else?
It doesn't sound like there's anybody trying to sneak into any rooms or anything, if that's what you're asking for.
All right, I'll continue to second watch.
All right, so anybody who's taking a second watch to make a perception check.
And here we go. Fuck yeah.
And Monty or Kohi.
Oh, you need one. All right. Perception. Ooh. Oh.
Okay. Duff posts. Kind of after the initial entrance of people trying to knock on the door outside, and you don't hear much else as the rest of your watch passes. Quazotic, though, you hear people kind of enter into the inn down below, greeted quietly by the innkeeper. He doesn't say much words to them, like much similar to kind of how he greeted you guys. But a little while later, you hear people coming up the stairs, unlocking two doors. You hear two doors open and close a little bit further down the hall.
Okay, how big is the inn?
The inn is
So-
a pretty decent size. I mean,
Okay.
it is probably, just as you kind of remember looking around, there's probably 12 or so rooms in this inn.
Okay. So that I know of, there are now 5 full, well, 6 if I assume the Dusty dude came up here, but he looked like a local. So there are 5 full rooms now that I know of, and there might be more, that came in earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll file that away. So
Okay.
And I assume they came in as one party or group.
Yeah, I mean, like, as Alice had kind of woken you up and whatnot, everybody who came up and kind of entered into the rooms did so as one group.
Okay. Okay.
The rest of your
can
watch
I-
passes. Oh, go ahead.
Can I make a, I guess, so I got a pretty good perception check. Can I determine how many people that is? Or like if they're speaking different languages or different voices, can I kind of differentiate? Like, is it 3 people in 2 rooms? Is it 5 people in 2 rooms? Is it 2 people that just didn't want to sleep next to each other? You know?
Yeah. With a 23, you think it was probably 5 or 6 people or so. You aren't
Okay.
quite sure. Kind of
That's
going into
fine,
the 2
I
different
just-
rooms.
Wanted to kind of get a general kind of guess of amount.
They
Okay.
were trying to be kind of quiet, trying not to wake other patrons in the
Yeah,
inn as they came in.
respectful. I appreciate that. That's what I appreciates about you, Miss Katie.
Is that what you appreciates about me?
Oh, look, the floor.
All right. All right. And then I guess I need who's ever making last watch.
I'll wake up Nicola and hand off watch to him.
All right.
I'm back on
Boop.
last watch, right? Cody?
And boop.
Yep.
Got it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the night it kind of seems to pass without much of a without much issue. As the morning begins to come, it sounds like the rain has pretty much petered off. It doesn't. You don't hear the pitter patter against the wall anymore. Quixotic. And the only thing else you hear in the building is the quiet snoring from other patrons somewhere else in the inn.
Okay.
Monty and Nicola, as you guys wake up and kind of keep an ear out for anything, the night passes without much happening for you guys.
Got it.
I will try and keep as good of a track of time as I can and make sure that, you know, if I'm looking out the window and starting to see light, it's like, all right, time to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Nicola, having taken last watch, knowing that you guys are supposed to be up at the docks for first light, knows that it's probably an hour out yet or so by the time that it is, and begins to kind of wake everybody up, saying that, hey, it's kind of shakes everybody and he's like, all right, it's time to go.
It's time.
it begins.
It is time.
All right. Rock on.
Let's head to the ship.
Rock out with your socks.
Yes, that's the phrase.
We do.
All right, and so you guys begin to kind of gather up your stuff and get your gear back on, and as you guys start to open up the doors and head out, the group of dwarves is already down, kind of settling up there any tabs that they may have had with the innkeep, and they're a little bit surprised to see you guys coming down, thinking that you guys may have been a group of city slickers, not up for the task of
Getting up that early.
and taking a boat with him, but surprised nonetheless, knowing that there is a large pocket full of coin coming towards them. And you see Dolman go, well, aren't you guys bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning?
I'll say well, it seems like we have to be. And I'll hand him a pouch with half his gold, and I'll say that I'll give him the other half when we can see Luskin.
Seems like a fair trade. Let's be off then.
All right. I'll do the same thing I did at the table when we were drinking. If she says Luskin near the inn cave, I'll
Be like, that was
Right.
Candlekeep,
All
right?
right, make me a deception check.
try and cover that up. Well,
So
dice
it is a high DC.
yeah, because no one was paying attention to that. Come on, flat. Oh my god.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Hey there. it is.
Hey.
Sorry, the DC was
Oh,
21.
Literally the best I can do.
Wah, wah, it was 21. It was
Uh,
really high.
Do you think
Literally the
that-
best I can do.
You think that the innkeeper is pretty well distracted counting out the coin that the dwarves had given him. They did not pay him their large tab in gold or silver, but rather electrum.
Oh man.
Ah,
He's just sitting there grumbling, what the fuck am I gonna do with this shit?
So he was a little bit distracted as he coughed as Luskin was said.
We'll take him up to. Alright. Let's get the fuck out of here.
You do see Tolman. He's like, all right, the 6 of you are here.
7.
7.
Yeah.
And he says 7. There's 6 of you last night down here. And he goes, what's with the gray one over there?
He was drinking up a hangover.
He's gonna have half an egg and be very full.
Yeah, right. And I don't know if breakfast is an option necessarily, because we're up at what, like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m.
Yeah,
fuck, if you got cheese, go.
the innkeep goes, yeah, I'm sorry, breakfast was not prepared for you guys this morning.
Hard
That's fine.
time.
If you care to wait a little bit, I can throw something on the.
The
Some
only
stew
thing we have
on
is
from last
pocket
night.
bacon.
I
The only
believe
thing we have is
are,
pocket bacon.
I believe we are on our way already, but I appreciate the offer.
So, Dolman is a little bit concerned that there's an extra person that he didn't know about. But with a sack of 250 gold, he quickly forgets that it's an issue.
There we go. Actually, would the innkeep have any like oats or something like that? Something that would keep, or we just have to pour hot water in, or just like a shitty breakfast, and maybe just like a raw egg.
He's like, I can give you a few eggs if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, sure. I guess. Actually, no. He feeds patrons all the time. Could you toss enough eggs in a basket to feed, I don't know, 7 people? I'll figure out the cooking later.
He's like, here's 7 eggs.
Okay. It's not like I'm
Got
not
it,
gonna
really.
pay him. You cheap bastard! You're running in. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
cheap bastard.
You cheap bastard. How much do I owe him?
He said it was covered in your stay for the night.
All right, fine.
It's a bed and breakfast. We
Thank
stated
you very
apparently.
much. I'll leave a silver on the table just cause.
All right. All right. And with that, Tom's like,
As we're walking out the door, I mumble something about Waterdeep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's going to be a trip.
You know, I've always wanted to go to Waterdeep.
Yep.
okay.
All right, see it.
Whoa.
I
Go ahead.
think I can prestidigitate the eggs into hard boiled eggs. It says you can chill, warm, or flavor up to a cubic foot of non-living material for an hour. So technically, I
what's
can
warm?
warm the eggs up to cooking
So
temperature.
you're just gonna like soft boil them for
I can
An
literally
hour?
just hold them in my hands.
You're gonna sous vide the eggs?
They're gonna be
I don't-
rotten.
sure.
They're like we're gonna crack it open. It's gonna be like the foulest smelling thing.
I mean, yeah. If you gave me a bowl of water, technically I could hard boil the eggs.
If only somebody had bought rations.
Well, yeah, but
Or
this
you
is
guys
protein.
stole a whole box of them
Chest
from
full
the.
of 'em. Yeah, this
We,
is protein.
we got
All right,
chests of chests. Of
I got eggs. Let's go.
All right. You guys head out of the inn and follow Dolman and the other two down to the docks. And as you, it's dark, but you start to see a little bit of blue kind of coming up over, a hint of blue kind of coming up over the back of the mountains to the east. And Dolman says, "So do you guys have any experience sailing at all, or am I?"
As one, do we all look at Nicola?
Yeah, right.
Not maybe not directly, but I'm like, well, I don't know. I read about it in a book.
So, yep, you're looking for me.
I've been on a boat.
Yeah, I say I'm a nimble man and I've got good eyes. So if that helps out, I can do what I can.
Pass
So-
everything.
You see him say, "Your eyes will get good usage keeping out for any rogue ice flows coming down from the north at this point in the year. So that'll be greatly appreciated. And you said you have some experience. We could definitely use a hand with tacking of the sails and making sure that we're getting the best usage out of this wind that you guys are trying to harness to get up to Luskin."
Sure, I can help with that.
All right.
I go over to the cat. We're on the boat, right? And we set sail.
You guys are kind of down at the docks and whatnot at this point.
Okay. Yeah, not gonna. Okay.
All right. Topos, did you have something you want to do? You said?
Well, I was going to say, like, the rest of us are kind of more focused towards other areas of study, unfortunately.
Okay.
We have some muscle, we have some arcane, but honestly, those two are your best bet for help at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I can entertain.
I can blow something up.
Sea shanties.
Sea shanties.
Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. Come on, Monty.
I sing through dice. That's how I sing.
Well, what do we do with the drunkens?
All right. So you guys, you see, as you guys kind of get down to the docks and you're looking around, and as the lights coming up over the mountains, there's one other boat in port besides the boat that Dolman's heading you towards and whatnot. And the other boat that's in port does not look like it is any shape to kind of be of a seafaring boat.
So
So.
we made a good choice.
And kind of as you kind of come up on the boat, you see painted on the back of the boat, Dolman's Dart. And this boat is not a grand boat by any sense of the word grand. It is a pretty standard looking barge, for better words to describe. It's not going to be a comfortable ride, but you think that you seem to have come to trust Dolman as a man of his word, and will do what he can to get you guys up to the Luskin.
Sweet.
So he's like, "Well, if you guys are ready, you guys ready to load up?"
Let's do it.
I think we're good.
Yep.
Okay.
Roll out.
Roll
Alright.
out. Bum,
So you
bum,
guys hop onto the boat, and you hear Dolman say, "Magnus, send us off." and one of the other dwarves hops and kind of undoes the ropes that are mooring Dolman's dart to the dock, and you guys kind of begin to float off, and he says, "Bardock, it's time to raise the sail." And he motions to you, Nikola. He's like, "All right, are you ready?" And so
Let's
you
do it.
guys both begin to kind of pull the rope up, and the sail begins to kind of raise. And he's like, "All right, hold it." And the sail's kind of half-mast, and you guys the wind kind of begins to pick up and kind of pulls you guys out into the ocean a little bit further. And he's like, "All right, fully open the sail." And you guys continue to pull up, and at this point, Port Last is starting to get a little bit further off into the distance, and you guys kind of breathe a little bit of sense of relief, especially you, Alice, and Tehran, as you guys feel that putting a little bit more distance between you and Neverwinter is a good feeling. And he says, "Well, if you guys are ready for a day of travel, I think this is going to be hopefully we can get this done relatively quickly." And I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Huzzah!
Hey, that's
Yay.
good at any point. We
So.
we made it on the boat.
We're shipping up to Boston. Whoa.
So, yeah, you guys did a great job tonight.
I'm glad I poked you a little bit ahead of time and was like, "Hey, so
Yeah, it was. You guys played the cards just about pretty perfectly in order to hitch a ride on this one boat that was happened to be in Port Last. So,
well, there we go."
Sweet.
yep. So.
Yeah.
And that was you poked me about it, but there was already one boat in Port
Was there
Last.
some? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I assumed there was something around. I'm just so you were prepared for a seaside
Yep.
travel.
so
Yeah.
cool, guys.
I'm getting my pirate episode.
Huzzah!
We're all getting peg legs and eye patches and pirates.
I don't want an eye patch. You're gonna have to wear one. Oh, but it tampers my vision. It doesn't matter.
It's part
don't
of
have
the
to wear it on
union
your eye.
uniform.
That's true.
Part of the union uniform. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So cool.
How
And
cranky is Tehran gonna be that we're not going to? Or no, we are going to the last. It doesn't matter.
well, he wanted to go there. I think he just wanted
Yeah,
to be a
that's
bit
right.
more.
Yeah, he'll just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Mm. We'll get his
Yeah.
disappointed frown as opposed to his slightly less disappointed frown.
Right. No, he's happy. He'll be overjoyed.
It'll be
huzzah.
interesting either way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, we'll get a reaction.
so cool,
It's
guys.
it's like a misbehaving child. You know what? Any reaction's a great reaction.
Right. Attention.
As long as you're paying attention.